if a virus was in a cockpit of a jet aiming to drop a bomb over Russia, and it came back, triggered by the virus, to drop it over London, a really good hacker could beat the Lockerbie bomber any day, hands down.
Mel Croucher knows all about such dangers. He's an expert on the netherworld of the hacker, the virus writer and the fraudster. For 10 years, he's infiltrated the murky depths of this computer underworld.
There's an entire computer subculture hereabouts, not just children, adults, professionals and amateurs. What they're interested in, the software that's on display here, is unlocking the little key that protects it, cracking that code, getting into the system, either for sheer devilment or for making large sums of money. These are the hackers.
Until now, the computer hacker has been seen affectionately as a skilled technocrat, beavering away obsessively in his den, a harmless crank exploring the international computer networks for fun. But today it's clear that any computer anywhere can be broken into and interfered with for ulterior motives. The technocrat has mutated to the technopath. Life hangs on computers. Even the oldest technologies are dead without them. In banking, 1 billion people would take a week to do what one clearing bank's computers now do in a day. 6 million computers govern what we buy and the way we live. In our work and our leisure, it's all down to the computer.
Hello. Oh, hello. How are you?
Anywhere in that chain, the technopath can and may strike.
I believe that in the United Kingdom, we are very, very severely at risk indeed, largely because in true British fashion, we've buried our heads in the sand.
Britain has more personal computers per head of population than any other European country. But it's their networking that makes them vulnerable between individuals and in workplaces. Intrusion into one spells danger for them all.
You can plant what's commonly known as a virus, or a time bomb, or a worm. All these are neat little words describing methods of wrecking computer systems. I'm thinking of a British airline company where a disaffected computer programmer, as he left, planted a horrible little trap, which meant that on a certain day in the month, the system collapsed. And the airline was unable to continue to take bookings and unable to continue to fly the airline.
20,000 computers are estimated to have been hit by viruses in Britain. One security firm has answered 1,000 separate calls in the past 2 years. Most viruses go unreported.
A computer virus is a piece of computer code, usually between 1 and 3,000 bytes long, which has certain properties, and the properties of a computer virus are that it is self-replicating, that is, it will reproduce itself, it will migrate from one program to another, from one disk to another. It has some side effect, that is, it produces an effect like characters falling down the screen in some cases. It will also put some obstacles in the way of anybody trying to find it.
A few lines of computer code, skillfully written. The virus comes to life. It replicates, spreading from disk to disk, reproducing itself countless times over as it worms its way into the innards of computer after computer.
It's something you produce which becomes live. You don't know where it goes, you don't know how long it's going to live, and it's very exciting. And I think it is that which motivates the computer virus writer to produce a virus which would last for as long as possible and which would proliferate for as much as possible, which would be disastrous to us.
First came the Christmas tree virus, a sensation when it penetrated the computer equivalent of Fort Knox, IBM in Portsmouth.
What happened was a student in West Germany wrote a Christmas card to send around his colleagues at the university. What he didn't realize was that his university was connected to worldwide networks. The result was that the Christmas card was actually sent across the whole of Europe into the USA, and from within the USA into commercial organizations like IBM. An individual would receive this Christmas card from known associates and colleagues in the company. They would read the instructions which encouraged them to actually run the program, and the net effect was that they would send a copy of the Christmas card to all of their associates and people that they regularly sent mail to.
There seems at the moment to be a view that this is harmless, that it's all right to get into somebody's system, and in many cases it doesn't do any damage. That view is totally misplaced. First, very often, the real costs are the costs of clearing up after somebody has trespassed on the system in this way, and you don't know exactly what they may have done. The cost of that can be very high, running into millions of pounds in a number of cases.
Incidents like the CRISMA exec have taught the industry a lesson at some expense in terms of disruption. And as a result of that, we are now attempting to keep ahead of these sorts of incidents. And it really is a race. Who will get there first?
But tomorrow, at midnight, October the 13th, the race begins in earnest. The first truly destructive computer virus comes to life. Its codename, data crime.
The data crime virus is a virus which attacks executable images, that is programs on the computer. And if you run any of the infected programs on or after October the 13th of any year, the hard disk will be completely destroyed. The interesting thing is that before data crime is activated, data crime will only spread without giving any clues to its presence. As soon as we enter the date as the 13th of October, so that means 10/13/89, and then run the application, if we try and access C as a disk, it will say invalid drive specification, which means we have lost drive C.
The threat's real. In Europe and America, data crime has already been found lurking. In Holland, police have issued their own computer program to search for the virus. In Denmark, data crimes claimed Europe's biggest virus infection. 260 computers of the Postal Service have been disinfected just in time. The problem is this. Knowing you might have a virus in your computer is one thing. Finding it is quite another.
Most personal computers have between 20 and 60, sometimes even 100 million bytes of data and programs. And trying to find a few thousand bytes within those millions of bytes is very difficult.
Like trying to find the eye of a needle in a haystack of wiring. Even for the world's biggest computer company, it takes a major commitment of money and man-hours to deal with a virus.
IBM is not immune from viruses. We have had incidents where, quite innocently, a virus has been brought into the organization. The net effect is that you have to thoroughly clean the whole of that business area. And one of our incidents resulted in us actually having to check 10,000 diskettes, which is no light matter. Several months' worth of effort were involved in checking that.
For small businesses, one disk infected can mean ruin. The bigger the company, the bigger the computer.
For our networked mainframe systems, we have a team of highly specialized people called penetration testers who actually go and test the security of our systems, and we do this as a regular thing. If they manage to break our systems, then heads will roll in the corridors as a result.
Heads could well roll. This particular Friday, a second virus is also due to strike, the Friday the 13th. Last year, British Rail discovered they had the Friday the 13th virus in their personal computer system. They managed to disinfect the network before it caused any real damage.
At the moment, they are still limited to personal computers, mainly on the hard disks through the transport of floppy diskettes into the system. But as time goes on, I think we would be seeing the next level of viruses probably being introduced by disgruntled employees, and that would probably hit the large computers instead of the personal computers. Now, let's say that if the virus was triggered to stop the data from functioning at a certain time, that could kill people.
British Rail declined to take part in this programme, but said they were aware of the possible dangers from viruses. They felt they'd taken precautions in the past, had been successful then, and were confident they would be this time round in keeping their computer systems virus-free. We've not yet suffered the effects of the first virus attack on a computer system that's critical to human life. But with mass transportation, medical and many other public services becoming more and more computer dependent, it's surely only a matter of time. Government and business are reluctant to admit they're fragile and vulnerable to such threats, frightened either of a loss of public confidence or of setting themselves up as targets for the technopaths who stalk their electronic alleyways. Of all the companies that Dispatches approached, only one, Barclays, was willing to talk at length about the dangers and their very real concerns.
We've had one virus since we started very actively looking for this over the last few years, which was the well-known Friday the 13th virus. This occurred in a small network of personal computers, 10 or 12 systems joined together in a local area network, where we were developing an expert system. We have not only specialist teams who are responsible for security in our computer centers, our mainframe computer centers, we have also specialist teams who deal with hacking. We have a specialist who has written programs to detect computer viruses. We personally have a program mounted in our personal computers that will spot some 200 different known viruses. The problem with that sort of defense is that every time you produce a program to spot 200 new viruses, someone invents a few more for you which you haven't built in a defense against. Almost every aspect of our business has a security element. But one can say from that which is measurable that it is in excess of 20 million a year that we are expending merely on making our systems secure. I don't think it matters how big you are, how knowledgeable you are, how prepared you are, you can still be hit by a virus.
Like Goliath being hit by David with the virus as the stone. No one really knows why technopaths write computer viruses. Hitting back at institutions or major companies could be one motive. Computing may start as a hobby and turn into a nasty habit because of resentment, anger or greed. Whatever the reason or lack of it, viruses are being written. They are out there.
The more malicious person will go into a system and seed a logic bomb, the equivalent of a time bomb in the system. If they have the bottle, they will then come clean. They will even go to the victim and say, I've broken into your system. I'm not telling you how I've done it, but this is the result. Then, and this is historically correct, and I have files of affirmed data, then they are either paid off so as not to detonate this bomb, or they're actually paid and taken on the payroll to explain how they achieved their crime.
It seems to me that many people have a complete moral panic about computer crime, and it is really a problem of perception. They feel that if they acknowledge they've had a computer crime, the general public, their shareholders, the city will think that they're not properly in control of their business. And to a certain extent, that perception is a correct one.
Most companies make out they're fully confident of their machines. Many are not. Viruses are one reason. Computer hacking, the unauthorized entry into computer systems, is another. Hacking was once an intellectual game for computer buffs. For many companies, it's now a nightmare. And even the very highest in the land are not immune. Yorkshireman Steve Gold was one of 2 computer hackers who got into the Duke of Edinburgh's electronic mailbox. Suddenly, hacking was headline news worldwide.
We broke in on the Prestel system and we discovered several major loopholes, one of which being that we could break into the system. Well, perhaps breaking into the system's too strong a word. We could log on to the system purporting to be anybody we wished. That could range from you, a lady walking down the street, or indeed Prince Philip, who lives in the house behind me. In March 1985, about 10 o'clock, I got a knock on the front door, and 5 officers of the fraud squad paid a visit, cautioned me, and needless to say I was in a bit of a state of shock, and took me off to Sheffield Police Station, and then the next day took me down to Holborn Police Station. They subsequently prosecuted us under the Forgery and Counterfeiting Act. The idea being that us keying in numbers late at night on a computer, remotely over the telephone wire, is analogous to printing dud fivers in your kitchen. A bit of a tenuous connection.
Gold was prosecuted by British Telecom. Eventually, the House of Lords found him not guilty of forgery. He was represented there by Alistair Kelman.
They could, for example, have charged them under the Telecommunications Act, where it is an offence to incur charges on other people's account on any electronic system. And that would have been a very simple prosecution. But they wanted, British Telecom wanted to deal with an additional problem. They wanted to stop people going in on computers that were free and using those computers.
If somebody breaks into an aircraft hangar and the owner of the plane finds that there's evidence that the cover of the engine has been lifted and somebody has been in there, I think you would expect them to have to take a lot of time and trouble finding out if the engine is still working properly. Now, it's exactly the same with a complex computer system. The time and expense is often involved just in finding out whether anything has happened. No damage has to have been done for all that expense to take place.
Walsall in the West Midlands, not the likeliest place to find a French baroness. Barbara Hammett Lebrun, the great-grandniece of American Wild West hero Wyatt Earp, goes unnoticed as she takes her daily stroll. But the Baroness is a most unusual woman. An accomplished painter and musician, she takes a greater delight still in being an accomplished computer hacker.
Hacking is like going into a different world. It's a completely different world. I mean, it's vast, isn't it? Vast. I mean, you can get a number, and from that you get other numbers, and from that you get other numbers, and so you cover the whole universe eventually. You know, it's like looking at the stars, really. It's so exciting. When you start from nothing, really, you've got a machine, you've got communications, you hit a number, you get some more numbers, And you know, you go worldwide.
The Baroness demonstrated to dispatches a relatively straightforward, everyday hack. She's acquired the telephone numbers for hundreds of computers worldwide. These secret and sensitive numbers are common knowledge amongst computer buffs. We've obscured them. Logging on to a switching service computer, the Baroness uses a password she's discovered to connect to JANET, the Joint Academic Network System that links together universities all over the world. On the same hack, she could gain access quite easily to many other academic computer networks which fill her screen. She chooses the JANET News Service. She's in. But she stops at the front door.
Well, I think you are playing a game with the people that produce the programs and the systems. Yes, I do. You do feel you are a poacher, actually. And I don't think it should be made illegal. Because there's a lot of people, hackers, if you like, that know. They know, and they're sensible about these things. You will always get the odd person that will overstep the barrier. Always.
All the hackers dispatches spoke to maintained that they never altered anything in computers they'd entered. But if hacking is made illegal, people like the Baroness could well face prison.
I think originally the perception was that this was an activity that was harmless and was just engaged in by people who wished to test computers for fun. I think that perception is now not correct, and experience on the continent and in America has shown that this is an organized activity, often designed to remove data, to destroy data, and to cause very considerable losses.
Barclays have suffered 3 separate hacks this year that they know about.
First case, we don't actually know why he was into the system, because it merely occurred that when the proper user logged into his system to use it, he found that someone was already there and had logged in, we found earlier from the audit trail, some 40 minutes or so before the real user. And as far as we could tell, and this is always a problem, of course, you're never quite sure whether you found everything, as far as we could tell, nothing had taken place from that particular hacking.
It's not taken long for the thrill of the hack to turn into a nice little earner. The latest designer crime in the city is computer fraud. London's finest are having to learn new skills to follow the routes taken by the billions of pounds that move through the electronic money systems each and every hour.
This year, for example, our monies that have been obtained or attempted to obtain is in excess of £477 million. Our cases reported are up 25%, and our arrests are up 63%. I think you've got to look at the enormity of turnover of money here in the city alone. The foreign exchange dealings, I'm told, are in excess of £200 billion per day. And therefore, the enormity of money gives rise to, obviously, the criminal seeking to steal from those funds. And the majority of these transactions are by way of computer, as nearly everything is these days. And therefore, the computer is used as a tool of the criminal to achieve its crime.
Earlier this year, City of London police foiled what would have been Britain's biggest ever robbery. A major international finance corporation had over £50 million actually stolen, electronically, by computer. Fraud squad officers got the money back, electronically, and 25 people are to be prosecuted in 4 different countries.
Together with some of my officers, I attended the institution. They'd had substantial amounts of money, millions of pounds, in excess of £50 million, removed from their system. And it had been distributed around the world in various parcels. And what we did there was that we used the law enforcement agencies around the world,
both in the United States, the Far East, and Europe. And as a result, all the monies were saved. Considerable evidence was preserved, and in fact, subsequent arrest and prosecution of those persons involved.
Peter Summer believes that most attempted frauds are inside jobs, planned by the discontented.
We have something like 20 years' worth of various books, reports and so on, and you can draw certain sorts of conclusions from them. First of all, very little computer crime is committed by people who are pure outsiders. It's nearly always an inside job, just like most forms of white-collar crime. Secondly, people don't always believe this at first, there's very little computer skill involved. What happens is that the middle-range manager, the lowly clerk, who is working at the coalface, spots that the computer system, the way the computer is connected to the rest of the company, is less perfect than it might be, that there is an opportunity there for fraud. And if that person is in a particular frame of mind, resentful about their job prospects, or if they are short of cash, or any of the things that humanly happen to people, they may try and steal money from the computer. That's the standard pattern.
Not surprisingly, organised crime has rapidly latched on to the potential of computers to attempt frauds on a massive scale. A mysterious European underworld figure known only as Kim enlisted the aid of John Felinsky, a North London roofer. In a city pub, the plan was hatched. As a result of their plot, Prudential Beige, an American securities house, only narrowly escaped losing $8 million from their London base. Felinsky introduced Kim to a childhood friend, Angelo Lamberti. Lamberti was a disgruntled clerk in Prudential Beige's Eurobond operation. Lamberti knew the passwords to the computerized transfer system used by his employer. Armed with a home computer, the two friends successfully hacked into the transfer system and routed the funds through 4 countries and into a Swiss bank account set up by Kim and his associates.
In the Prudential case, £5 million worth of Eurobonds, 18 Eurobonds, were at risk when one of their employees, a lowly clerk, decided to become a big-time fraudster. He used no particular skill. In collusion with an outsider who was a roofer of all things, they were able to place a computer in the roofer's home and initiate the fraud. They didn't do it particularly cleverly, and they were caught, but it fits absolutely centrally into the pattern of computer crime. It is trivial for everything except the amounts of money that were at risk.
They almost got away with it. Only last-minute moves foiled the robbery. The mysterious Kim and his European associates remain at large. 2 other large frauds have recently been stopped in the nick of time. At Mitsubishi Finance International, £15 million. At Union Bank of Switzerland, £32 million. The City of London police have told us that organised European crime syndicates were involved in both attempts. The frauds that are reported may be just the tip of the iceberg. Barclays believe the best policy is to go public.
There have been attempts to transfer funds from bank accounts out to other accounts in other parts of the world, but fortunately, so far, to the best of our knowledge, they've been thwarted. The largest I can recall is something like £900,000, which is a fairly sizable sum of money, particularly if you're on the losing side.
There is recent evidence to show that British business has lost a figure of no less than £400 million. This is made up not only of direct losses through fraud, as unauthorised access to a company's computers can also be the first step to defrauding and removing of money, but is also made up of peripheral expenses such as cleansing the system and replacing data that has been destroyed or removed.
Everybody in the city agrees that there really is no such thing as a completely safe computer.
The concept of a safe computer is a dream, really, because you're assuming that the computer and the system running in it is completely untouched by human hands throughout its life, and it's probably useless to anybody.
Society needs the computer show to go sweetly on. Ironically, while the government may outlaw hacking with one hand, it seems certain that the other hand is twisting those very same skills to its own ends.
It seems apparent that industrial espionage and international destabilization between states and between rival powers, whether they're economic or military, is happening now. It will be much easier in practical and economic terms to dispense with the services of armies of guerrillas, of chartering boats and planes, of bribing, of changing fingerprints. You don't have to go through that palaver anymore. You can press a few buttons to destabilize a company or even a nation state.
There is also no doubt in my mind that for some considerable time, the world's largest intelligence gathering agencies, National Security Agency, GCHQ, KGBT, have been using hacking type techniques. In fact, it is absolutely past belief that they haven't been using them.
A new computer-skilled generation is in the making. The fear is that new laws may restrict the innocent while failing to arrest the virus, the hack, or the fraud. It's a far cry from the computer as educator. But how to avoid throwing out the baby with the technological bathwater? How to preserve the computer's beneficial role while fighting off the intruder?
That documentary was produced by Channel 4 Television, Great Britain. Joining me now, two guests to talk about that film and the issues it raises. Sergeant John Neely is in charge of the computer crime section at RCMP headquarters in Ottawa. And Gord Agnew is a professor of electrical and computer engineering at the University of Waterloo. He's also a computer security consultant. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you for being here. Gord, let's start with you. Just how big a problem are we talking about here?
Well, the problem basically is every computer system in the world. A hacker or the risk to computer systems is basically any machine that can be penetrated, any system that's on a network, any system that can be reached by a phone link.
So, Gord, these are vulnerable systems, and I mean, people can get into these systems. Do you have a fix on how big the problem is?
It's difficult to know, Stuart, for certain. Certainly there are ongoing police investigations under the purview of the RCMP programs. However, one thing that we know is that the actual problem is difficult to quantify because there's a great reluctance in some areas of the private and public sector to report the problems.
Why?
They say there are several reasons. Certainly experience has shown that certain portions of the private sector, and the public sector, fear adverse publicity because of the nature of the business that they're in.
So they don't want to look like the only bank that has problems.
That's correct.
You're smiling.
Well, I don't think anyone wants to admit there's a problem and make it publicly exposed.
Because it'll be bad for business.
Bad for business.
What areas then are having problems? What do we know about? Are banks losing hundreds of thousands of dollars? Are personal files being rifled through?
We've seen no evidence of banks losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, no. What we do see, we receive complaints often of illegal access to computer systems or communication systems. We also see the advent of the computer into traditional types of crimes, fraud, theft, and so on. As businesses and so on become more automated, then the arena is open up for the criminal to interact with his victim in a more state-of-the-art fashion than, say, in the past.
So instead of coming into the counter with a gun, he sends them a fax? Is that?
Not necessarily a fax, but from basically the comfort of his office or the comfort of his living room, he can do just as much damage and probably more without actually leaving the confines of his own space, his own secure area.
What sort of companies are coming to you in your in your role as a professor, but in your role as a computer a securities consultant? Who's coming to you for help?
Mostly financial institutes, the financial sector, telecommunications sector, have been the primary people who have been interested in security and looking at solutions for security problems. There is a bit of education that has to go on in the other sectors, resource sector, or any sector that uses data to value that data. And we've talked about financial loss in terms of dollar value, but it's very hard to quantify how much a trade secret is worth, or how much a industrial espionage can be worth to a company.
And so somebody comes to you, tell them. How do you tell them to defend against this stuff?
Well, one of the basic problems in any computer system is access control. Most of the systems we see today, and most of the systems were problem, which is the PC-based systems, or some of the more older open systems, are that they were never designed with security in mind. They were designed to be, for example, the PC market, the DOS operating system. They never really anticipated networking and that open access that is currently available. And it's like building a house without doors and then finding out later you have a crime problem. It's very hard to fix the problem afterwards, and that's the situation we're seeing now.
So what are you saying? If I'm worried about people having too easy access to my system, how are you going to help me? What do you have in your bag of tricks?
Well, there are new technologies available for access control. Some of the technology we've been working on at the university is now being developed and marketed by a company in Mississauga, a spin-off company called Mobius Encryption Technologies. And for example, here is a board-level product for a PC or network of systems, which will basically give you access control, very high-level access control.
How?
It has a very high-level interface for the user.
What does that? Come on, talk to me in English.
The procedure you have to go through to sign on to the system and authenticate yourself to prove who you are is fairly sophisticated and elaborate. Also, all the files on the system are protected, and we use a technique called digital signatures on the files so that any tampering by an outside party or even a virus can be detected and or prevented in the system.
But I've heard of other things, more complex things, perhaps, where they take fingerprints of your eyes. Is that correct?
That's one form of authentication. That's authentication by physical attributes. The only problem with just using those types of authentication methods alone is that they can be forged. If I'm sophisticated enough, I could record the images and just play them back into the system. So they have to be used in combination with other systems to provide a high level of security.
In a minute, we've got somebody standing by in Vancouver. In a minute, I think we'll go to Vancouver. We've got Frank Reiter standing by in Vancouver, who runs a computer network there, bulletin board system, and he also has a hacker, somebody who I suppose is the guys you're looking for. Sometimes who we're going to be able to talk to on the computer through a computer screen. Before we do that, I'd like to talk a little bit perhaps about the ethics of all of this, and the ethics of some of the things we saw in the documentary. People say, Sergeant Neely, that as long as they just go into other people's files and have a look-see, but don't do anything, that they're not really doing anything wrong. How do you feel about that?
Well, that certainly is an idea that is out there, a train of thought among the hacker community. We have a problem with that, because unlawful or unauthorized access to a computer system is illegal. It is contrary to the criminal code. And if we want to draw an analogy, Stuart, it's really no different than a person walking down a residential street and going to a door-to-door and just checking the doorknob. If they were to find one open, then society over time has certainly recognized the fact that they do not have the right to go in that house and look around, albeit that they do not take anything. It's an invasion of privacy, and it's illegal. And situations like that will be investigated if they become known.
Gord, is that the way you feel about it?
There's been sort of the romantic aspects of hacking as being the last frontier that man against computer and computer systems and big corporations. But again, my feeling is it's theft, it's a crime, just like any other crime. It's just,
you ever done it?
No, I have not.
Ever been tempted?
Yes, I know how, but again, it's a crime, and it's an invasion of information that should be confidential.
You say it's against the law in Canada. Are our laws sufficient right now? Are you comfortable with our laws? Are they sufficient to deal with this? Are we lagging? Is the whole legal system kind of lagging behind in the technological revolution?
Well, certainly a great deal of our laws are historical, have been around for years. The laws in relation to computer technology and so on, relative to the Criminal Code and the Copyright Act, were amended in the mid to late 1980s to bring them more in tune with the day of today. They are broad enough that they can be applied in the majority of situations as they occur, and we're not having a problem with that at this time.
So let's go to Vancouver. Standing by in Vancouver is Frank Reiter, who's the operator of the MindLink bulletin board system. Frank, you there?
Yes, I am.
Thank you very much. First, before we pursue our hacker, who you have standing by for us, and I'm wondering if you can be our kind of my hands to convey questions to him. Is that all right? Or her?
Certainly.
Before we do that, I wonder if you could explain to me what a bulletin board is, a computer bulletin board is.
A bulletin board is a computer that's been set up expressly for people to call in and exchange information with each other.
So this is like one of these party lines, telephone lines.
You could think of it that way. A lot of the information exchange is not in real time. It's not between people that are talking and interacting as we will be with the hacker. You can also leave messages for people that they can pick up at another time when it's convenient for them.
Okay. Now, we've been throwing around the term hacker here. What is a hacker?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of people out there that will object to the use of the word hacker to mean somebody that breaks into systems. It was originally meant to mean somebody that was very proficient with computers, but the media has changed the meaning of the word over time so that now it refers to somebody that gains unauthorized access to a computer system.
What about the word cracker? That's a word I came across.
Cracker is the word that the old-time hackers would prefer.
So a hacker, to some, the people who are, to computer people, a hacker being a person who is proficient with a computer, and a cracker, somebody who does the stuff that Sergeant Neely doesn't like. Would that be fair?
That's right, yes.
Now you have, well, what are we going to call our chap then on the computer, a hacker or a cracker? Who do we have here?
We've yielded to public pressure and called him a hacker.
Okay, well perhaps we can, maybe you could you, just so we have a feel for who we're talking to, could you ask him how old he is?
Certainly.
How old would you expect this? I mean, would you have an expectation of who this is that we're going to be talking to?
Certainly not who it is. We have seen cases involving quite young people in their mid-teens, right through to, well, to adult age, certainly.
Okay, well, this chap is, we're on camera now. Okay, they're just mid-20s, he says he is. Does that, Gord, you're nodding your head. This is
about right. Yeah.
Okay. Now, could you, if you set yourself to it, could you find this guy now? Could you track this person down? I mean, not that we're going to, but you could.
It is possible, yes, with the cooperation of the courts and the legal system, the communication companies, and so on. If we had reason to believe that a crime was being committed, and.
Well, now this intrigues me because you worked in Newfoundland for many years.
Yes.
In this business. Now if say somebody has accessed the bank's computers in Newfoundland and is moving money around illegally, now that guy could be he could be sitting in a basement in Georgia.
That's correct.
All doing it on the phone line.
That's
now,
correct.
and you're sitting in your office in Vancouver, and all you know, in St. John's, Newfoundland, all you know is the bank is missing some money.
Yeah.
How in heaven's name do you begin?
Major computer systems and so on have audit trails, or a great number of them have audit trails built into them that assist in that vein, along with, again, the cooperation of the communication companies and so on. The international nature of computer hacking is a concern. It does throw up barriers at times to investigations, but they're not unsurmountable.
I'd like to ask him why he hacks. And I'd like to know what does he get? Why is he doing it? Why is this a sport? Is that, Frank, can you ask him that? Why he hacks?
I sure will.
Okay, great. And while they're working on that, are you the cop of the future? I mean, is that as we move into the cashless society, are robberies in 7-Eleven stores going to be the no longer happening, or is all our crime going to be going on?
No, I don't think that all of our crime will be going this way, but what we do have to be aware of is that the potential for major financial damage through EDP types of crimes is far greater than the young person or whoever that stands in front of a counter with a weapon in their hand demanding money. Various studies that have been done throughout North America along those lines have borne that out. That there is a substantial difference in the cost.
What's the biggest crime that we've had over a computer in Canada? Dollar value.
Dollar value would be difficult to say. We do know of one situation where one particular corporation lost over $400,000 in illegally charged communications bills. We also know of a situation whereby a research company that was about to release a product to the market were hacked into. And because of that, they could not release the product to the market. It had to go back to square one because they did not know if anything or what, if anything, had been done to the loss of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Were they afraid there was a virus put on, perhaps?
They had no way of knowing.
Frank, do you have a problem with that on your bulletin board in Vancouver? How do you protect yourself against viruses coming onto your network?
We haven't had a problem with it. For the most part, protecting yourself against viruses is a little bit of computer knowledge and common sense.
We've got here we are. We've got an answer here from. We asked why he gets, why you do it and what you get from it. He says, well, many things can be accessed from these systems, i.e., assess.
He's saying that he's got access to workstations, network availability, in which he can connect to systems worldwide with access to phone company records, credit card numbers, car registrations, credit bureaus, stock portfolios, stock information, and getting the paper before it's printed.
I want to ask this guy if we talked a little while ago about ethics, and he was breaking the law when he's doing these things that he does.
He could very well be.
I want to ask him whether he thinks, whether our hacker feels that he is doing something ethically wrong. Whether, I suppose, when he intrudes on gets into these things that he looks in, does he feel that he's doing something wrong? That would be my question to him. And while they're doing that, I didn't see the movie. I saw neither the movie Die Hard or, in my notes here, War Games. Somebody was telling me about it. Where a movie. These are these plots where either a plane is hijacked or is held up for ransom through a computer system, or I think in War Games, some young hacker infiltrates the NORAD defense system and nearly sends us into in a nuclear holocaust. Are these reasonable and real scenarios? Are these things possible? Might we see terrorists using computers to hold us up in the future?
I think computerized terrorism is a real threat, yes. It's been recognized as that. The American experience has been that they have had various systems attacked, and not so much by terrorists, but, and certainly not, at least we know of, classified systems. But as long as the interest is there and the ingenuity is out there, then the threat is real.
Okay. We're getting, our chap here says, well, he guesses it could work two ways. He could feel bad and stop, but that wouldn't really be the thrill of the hack. Oh, I see. Because of the thrill of the hack he gets into, he just doesn't care, realize, he just keeps going. So do you think, just to pursue that thought for a minute here, could these become sort of strategic techniques? Could it become tactics of war, computer war?
I guess in the most far-reaching sense, they could, yes. It's not difficult to envisage that, yes, because you realize that people do, as I said earlier, have the ability to stay at home and illegally access systems and get detailed information on certain types of things. It would depend on what type of information you would be looking for and how secure the system was and so on.
I think, just to follow up on that, there's quite an emphasis now on building more secure systems. We know a lot more about how to build secure systems, how to design them security.
or with security in mind. And a lot of the crucial installations are now being secured. The biggest problem you have is still working with the user. Security is like insurance. You have to convince people that they need it and use it in a thorough manner.
Has anyone gone to jail in Canada for simply taking a look in someone's file? In other words, walking into the house, taking a look, and then coming out without doing anything to it?
Not that I'm aware of, but it's difficult to know because it's a big country and we are not the only police force that investigate this type of thing.
If you were investigating that sort of an event, would you argue that these people should go to jail?
The Crown would argue whatever was warranted in the case, and it's difficult to say what position the Crown would take without, knowing the facts. That's difficult to answer.
Would you argue those people doing that should go to jail, Gord?
Yes, I would. If their intent is to invade systems, yes.
Even if they were just taking a look around?
Well, where does it stop?
We have an answer here from our hacker. Well, if you mean that do I sleep well at night, sometimes I do, depends. There are times when the phone, and I won't know who's on the other end, but that's life. You have to take the good with the bad. I feel good when I get inside and I don't do anything really bad.
What is really bad?
Yeah.
I guess he would say really bad is moving things around. I don't know, I'm answering for him. What do you want to say to him about that? Anything?
We cannot condone that type of activity. I don't think the public wants to condone that kind of activity. This is why the legislators have put laws in place, and people expect to be able to be secure within their own given environment. We realize fully that the private sector and the public sector are having these kinds of problems. There is some reluctancy out there to report it. However, I guess from our perspective, I can only say that we're there to help. We're there to review their problems if they are having them, and we respect their views of if they want to not prosecute or whatever. We'll bear that in mind. They must also realize, though, that what may appear to be an innocent problem to them could be the missing piece of a much larger puzzle because of the interconnectivity of all these computer systems and so on. One person's problem is probably not just limited to that one person. It could be a widespread problem, even an international problem. And their cooperation, we would solicit the same as in any other type of crime prevention measure, within the community.
Okay, well, we're just about at the end of things here. Before we say goodnight, there's been frantic activity over here. Perhaps I can give our hacker the last word here. He says there's three types of people, basically. There's tourists, there's crashers, and there's thieves. Now, crashers, he says, seem to be the main problem. They get into systems with mainly brute force methods, leaving things in perhaps, to use an analogy of the real world, with broken windows and open cookie jars. Thieves, he says, mainly go in for a purpose and get out. While tourists take their time going in, perhaps, they look around for a while, they stay inside, they cover their tracks, and don't really pose any danger to the users or to the files or to the security. Crashers like to leave tracks, are just very sloppy, and are usually novice hackers, or hackers who just don't care, and that's about all I can say about that tonight. So, there we go. And we've come to the end of it. I wish we could go on. I'm sorry, and I want to thank both of you for being here. In Vancouver, Frank Reiter was helping us out and was the hands on our on the keyboard. Thank you to our hacker. Thank you to Frank, who's the operator of the Mind Link bulletin board system. Thank you to you, Sergeant John Neely, from Ottawa, RCMP headquarters, and thank you to you, Gord Agnew, from the University of Waterloo. Be sure to join us next week on the Science Edition as we continue to investigate some of the pressing scientific, medical, and environmental questions of our time. The quandary remains: there are obviously no totally secure computer systems and no perfect way to protect the information those systems contain. The only way companies and individuals are going to maintain their privacy for the foreseeable future is to stay one step ahead of the hacker. That's it for this week. On behalf of all of us here at the Science Edition, I'm Stuart McLean. Good night.
Specifically, we want access to computer systems to be made illegal if unauthorized. We want destruction of data and programs to be made a criminal offense. And we want the law that would enable us to prosecute against such offenses to be actionable irrespective of where that crime is perpetrated.
Successful hackers argue, first, that they're doing no harm, second, that they're doing good because they're testing out systems and proving weaknesses. I'd love to meet a burglar who broke into my house and argued that at the Old Bailey and considered that that indemnified him against being pushed into jail.
When you start passing information from one country through a gateway into another country and into another country, then the whole problem gets horrendously difficult. We need to be able to extradite serious computer criminals for this type of activity, and that may well require a new international convention to deal with what I term information terrorism.
Arctic Diary is a series of progress reports from a historic round-trip Canadian expedition to the North Pole. The Weber-Malakoff team will travel from Canada's Ward Hunt Island near Greenland to the North Pole and then back, without resupply and without the aid of electronic navigation. Share the drama of this historic event, Wednesday and Thursday mornings at 9:05 from March 18th to May 27th on TVO.
Join me Thursday at 10:30 for Genetic Engineering. There are all kinds of new moral problems coming up year by year as a matter of routine. And we do have to face these things. We do have to talk about them seriously. We do need to get to grips with possibilities that were never there before. And I think that fiction about genetic engineering is one of the ways that we can begin to learn to address these questions more seriously and more sensitively.
This is TVO.
Somewhere, somehow in my young life, I was led to believe that my people were defeated, that we're primitive, and that there wasn't an intelligence to draw from in my heritage. Danse, I'm Tantu Cardinal. Welcome to As Long as the Rivers Flow, a series of films about my people's efforts to gain control over our future, about just how wrong that childhood idea was. For the Europeans who landed on these shores, this river was undeveloped, full of resources, waiting for exploitation. No one was making use of it. For the native people, it was perfectly developed. The land was our mother. It provided sustenance for all. Tonight's film, Time Immemorial, directed by...
For example of this, than what has become the most expensive scandal in our history, the savings and loan disaster. It was a carefully calculated raid on the public treasury, bought and paid for by campaign contributions. Producer Martin Curran reports how this colossal ripoff was in fact an inside job.
Out here we have the secretarial bay. These are all high-class secretaries, right, Sue?
Right.
we would, Anne-Marie, we would probably have, I would think, the highest caliber girl in town. They stand in line to come to work here. It's probably because of the pay. It might be because
Charles Keating may turn out to be the biggest bank robber in American history.
Talk to him. Tell him how you like it here. Have you ever asked me for a raise?
Never.
No. How old are you now?
But he sure was a good boss.
Okay, you're going to be the first girl that started off as a secretary to make $100,000.
In what year?
We'll
1990.
start you right now, raise you to $100,000.
Gosh, we
Raises like this were nothing special at Lincoln, because Keating wasn't spending his own money. It was the taxpayers. He stole it fair and square.
The RTC has taken over 690 failed thrifts with $360 billion in assets.
It all began in this room in the spring of 1980. To some who witnessed it, what happened here in the House Banking Committee was the crime of the century.
It was carefully considered, it was carefully plotted, and it represented anything but an accidental hand going into a till.
Congressman Jim Leach of Iowa watched it happen. He was a junior member of the Banking Committee when the issue of deregulating the savings and loan industry was first raised.
An industry that had historically served the little guy, that is the family homeowner, was given the right to make direct investments, to invest in commercial real estate itself or anything else itself in certain states. In other words, use federally insured deposits to buy Wendy's or to buy stock or to buy commercial real estate, all in its own name, to speculate. And that kind of power had never been given an insured financial institution in America's history.
S&L deregulation was one of the most disastrous policy moves you've ever had in this country. And it was a mistake that was bought and paid for by money from banks and S&Ls and big special interests who gave campaign contributions and got something in return.
And how they gave. While House and Senate banking committees were debating deregulation, savings and loan PACs reported more than $2 million in contributions to committee members. House Committee Chairman Fernand St. Germain was an industry favorite. He alone received nearly $150,000 from S&L PACs in just the first 5 years of deregulation. St. Germain would prove himself the industry's most loyal ally. The robbery began on March 27, 1980. In a late-night banking bill conference, St. Germain inserted a seemingly minor amendment raising deposit insurance.
Originally, deposit insurance covered only $40,000 in a deposit. In the middle of the night, at a private meeting between House and Senate negotiators, the amount was raised to $100,000 at the insistence of Freddie St. Germain. Why was this important? This meant now that much more money would be coming into S&Ls that they could speculate with, and there'd be Uncle Sam backing it up.
Well, the insured deposit thing came suddenly. No one was aware it was on the table, and all of a sudden it was like a momentum that couldn't be blocked. It had not been carefully thought through.
But if you have deposit insurance with taxpayer money at risk, you have to have very strong regulation. They doubled the deposit insurance and took the regulatory cop off the beat. You actually had a decline in the number of bank examiners. Not just the rules were changed, but they pulled the enforcers off the track of these S&Ls.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and the Secretary of the Treasury.
The campaign to free S&Ls from the burden of government regulation culminated in this happy Rose Garden ceremony in 1982.
It means help for housing.
For the signing of the Garn-St. Germain bill.
All in all, I think we hit the jackpot.
Well, it was so appropriate that he used a gambling metaphor, because what happened was a whole platoon of riverboat gamblers came in, took over many S&Ls, and gambled the money away.
In retrospect, Garn-St. Germain, of which had some provisions that were considered reform and reasonable, had other provisions which were of towering dimension. And the new powers authorized the savings and loan industry were of such extraordinary magnitude that Congress should rue the day it passed the bill.
With the signing of Garn-St. Germain, the once sleepy S&L industry had been transformed into a speculator's paradise. The age of the high-rolling banker had begun, with the fox left guarding the henhouse.
The most important people in Washington, in this country,
entrusted with watching the savings and loan industry, making sure there were not excesses and abuses in terms of improprieties. Those regulators came from the industry and they went back to the industry. We did a study we're still working on. We found that roughly half of the Federal Home Loan Bank Board officials and half of the FSLIC officials either came from the industry or they went back to the industry.
So it became almost impossible to tell who the regulators were and who the regulated were.
That's right. It all becomes a blur after a while.
But S&Ls began to get into so much trouble so fast, there were still enough honest regulators who noticed.
FSLIC is a receiver for American Diversified.
They reported back to Congress that rampant fraud and mismanagement threatened to bring down the industry.
And so what is suddenly a $100 billion debacle becomes a $200 billion debacle, becomes a $400, becomes a $500 billion debacle. If you had dealt with this and nipped it in the bud in '83 and '84 instead of '92, we would have saved hundreds of billions of dollars.
Why wasn't that done?
It wasn't done because fixers for a fee representing the S&L industry made sure at every turn it didn't happen.
So money really was slowing down the solution.
I don't think there's any doubt whatsoever that the industry attempted to call in its chips, and some of those chips were of a monetary dimension.
It was quite clear what was happening in the industry, and Congress should have been cracking down. And instead, you had key members of Congress trying to fight and block those people who wanted to crack down. There was a hearing on S&Ls where a key regulator, Bill Black, was going to testify about the fraud, and St. Germain canceled the hearing rather than let his testimony be public.
There are some that suggested that...
When banking committee reformers tried to increase the authority of regulators to shut down bankrupt S&Ls, they found themselves locked in a battle with industry lobbyists and some of their own members.
Ultimately, there was a tie vote. And who cast the deciding vote? Cast a proxy vote for the S&Ls? Freddie St. Germain, who was emerging only briefly from their pocket to cast the vote. It was one of the sorriest days in congressional history.
So the looting continued almost without pause. Even insolvent S&Ls kept pulling in deposits, and their owners continued to pay themselves multi-million-dollar salaries.
They were looting the public treasury in advance, and then they were using a proportion of the loot coming from the public treasury to influence members of Congress. And so it was the public's money being used to influence the public's representatives, all to be paid on a deferred basis.
This deal would be probably $175 million. This is a swimming pool, and all this area here is a swimming pool. And this center is a dining area and bar. And to get into it, you're going to have to swim through a wall of water. And,
so the money-generous Charlie Keating lavished on his boondoggles flowed even more freely to key members of Congress. In all, Keating invested $3 million in political contributions. Prosecutors charge he stole more than $2 billion from Lincoln, and he knew every dime of it was yours.
You would think that this would be a perfect campaign issue in many ways for Democrats. They should be in there attacking the fat cat rich Republicans who are picking your pockets for their elitist friends, right? Well, they're not doing that. Why? Because they were getting money from the same exact places as the Republicans and passing the same policies. As far as S&Ls and banks were concerned, there weren't two parties. There was one party, the fundraising party.
There was almost no mention of the imminent S&L disaster in the 1988 campaign. The Democrats never criticized the role Republican bankers, including George Bush's son, played in the taxpayer ripoff. And the Republicans never mentioned the Democratic leadership in Congress helped give the bank robbers the key to the public treasury. The only people who didn't know what was going on were the voters. It was a pact of silence, purchased by campaign contributions.
Anybody that gives a substantial sum of money knows that at a minimum they have access on important legislation. They also know from experience that they're prepared to give again in another campaign if the elected representative follows their basic line. if he votes right.
One question among the many raised in recent weeks had to do with whether my financial support in any way influenced several political figures who took up my cause. I want to say in the most forceful way that I can, I certainly hope so.
You know, there's a sort of a moral numbness that takes place, and people here on Capitol Hill start to take for granted things that, from a distance, look shockingly corrupt. If a lawyer who had a case before a judge walked in and handed that judge a $5,000 check, we would say that's bribery and send the lawyer to jail. And in Congress, it's a campaign contribution.
Few members of Congress have paid a political price for their role in the SNL scandal. One who did was Fernand St. Germain.
St. Germain got thrown out of Congress by the voters because of his role in bringing the SNLs down and sticking taxpayers with the tab. 6 months later, what does St. Germain turn up as? A lobbyist for an SNL.
We tried to speak with the former congressman, but he declined to be interviewed.
People have made rather serious allegations. Would you consider answering them for us?
I gave you my reply.
But the answer is no, sir.
You have my reply.
A Justice Department investigation found Fernand St. Germain guilty of, quote, serious and sustained misconduct, but no charges were ever brought. St. Germain is now a private businessman. As a former member of Congress, he receives a lifetime pension of $65,368 a year, indexed, of course, for inflation. One more footnote. Despite his promise to give his remaining campaign contributions to charity when he left Congress, earlier this year, St. Germain sent this letter to the clerk of the House. In it, he says he's converting his campaign contributions to his personal use, all $176,326.62 of it. Stephen Pizzo is the national correspondent for the National Thrift and Mortgage News. He's also co-author of one of the first and best books written about this scandal, Inside Job, The Looting of America's Savings and Loans. Steve Pizzo, we know what's on the record. We saw some of that. But will we ever know the full scope of these horrors?
No. By looking at FEC records, we know about $12 million went to Washington during the 80s from the SNL industry. But that's just people who owned SNLs, the SNLs themselves, PACs we know that were connected with them. SNLs were doing something else to get even more money to Washington. It'll never be able to be traced. What they do is a contractor in a local town would be dependent on an SNL for their loans to build office buildings, say. And they'd come to their SNL and they'd say, well, I want to do a strip shopping center on the end of town here, and I need a $2 million loan. And the SNL guy would say, well, Jack, you have how many employees for your company? Well, I have about 500. Well, what say we give you a $2,100,000 loan? Well, gee, sir, I only need $2 million. Well, here's what I'd like you to do, though. You go to each one of your employees and you tell them to write a $250 or $500 check to the following congressmen and senators. And then you collect those checks now. Don't let them mail them. You collect them and you bring them to me. We will hand them to the congressman or the senator because it's no fun to bribe someone unless they know who's bribing them. He said, well, my employees don't want to contribute to this guy. Well, don't worry, because they're not. You tell them that they will be reimbursed through their paycheck as overtime or a bonus or something that they don't deserve, but they'll be reimbursed. Well, I don't want to pay back $100,000. Don't worry, you won't have to pay that back either, because here's what I'd like you to do. And I had a contractor tell me exactly this. I was told to install regular bathtubs in these condominiums we're building, but to invoice the SNL for jacuzzi tubs that were about $900 more. And that way, they just laundered out the campaign contribution through the loan. So the SNL really paid for this loan. The congressman or senator who got the check certainly knew that because it was being handed to him or her by this SNL person.
Didn't some politicians get interest-free loans from some SNLs?
Sure, or you have people like Tony Coelho, who...
Democratic whip at the time.
Absolutely. And at the time when junk bonds were becoming somewhat of a contentious issue in Congress, should SNLs invest in junk bonds or shouldn't they? A lot of people were saying junk bonds were just steroids, artificially pumping up SNLs. Turned out to be the case. Well, Tony Coelho gets a $50,000 loan from Columbia Savings and Loan, run by Thomas Spiegel, the biggest of the junk bond SNLs in California. To do what? Well, to buy, he didn't have the money to buy into a Drexel junk bond issue for Beatrice Foods, so Columbia Savings Loan lent him the money. He ended up making $12,000 on that.
We hear a lot about the Keating Five, the senators who got the most money from Keating, but it hasn't been widely reported that in his 1988 campaign, George Bush got something like $190,000 from Keating and companies controlled by Keating.
Sure, because during that period of time, Keating was trying very hard. The regulators had been a problem for him. There were regulators like Ed Gray on the Federal Home Loan Bank Board who were leaning on him hard. And he, in turn, had to go to Congress then and bribe congressmen and senators to lean back. This was getting to be an expensive exercise and a dangerous one. He could lose this battle. He decided the best way to do it was simply to stack the Federal Home Loan Bank Board with his own people. And he was trying to get his own people on board at this point in time. So yes, his contributions were going to anybody who could make that happen. In fact, he had a meeting, actually, with George Bush during this period of time.
Is that why in 1988 both parties made this pact of silence, as Martin Q had said, not to discuss the true cost or disclose the true cost of the bailout?
Absolutely. There was nobody during that campaign, Democrats or Republicans, who wanted the taxpayers to know what a mess this was. So they both conspired, and George Bush put a new head to the Federal Home Loan Bank Board in, Danny Wall, who went for 10 months before Congress and lied to them consistently about the cost of this. Private economists were saying this is at least $100 million. He'd go to Congress and say, gentlemen, this is 10 million, maybe 20, tops 20, no taxpayer bailout. And everybody in Congress who knew he was lying would sit there and say, well, thank you very much, Mr. Wall, that's very reassuring. It was only 3 weeks after George Bush won election as President of the United States that Danny Wall went to Congress and said, gentlemen, we've got a problem. Oh, it's more than 100 million. I mean, the difference a day makes.
Did you get nauseated doing this book? I mean, you took civics when you were in high school.
Yeah, let me tell you something about civics. After our book came out, I caught wind of the fact that the Senate was actually considering bank deregulation. It was going to be before Senate banking, and my co-authors and I flew to Washington with copies of our book and had a meeting with the staff members of the Senate Banking Committee and argued against the logic of bank deregulation. I said, you know, don't do this, guys. I mean, at least until you understand what you had done to the S&Ls. And finally, one of the staffers looked at me and she said, Steve, do you have any idea why the senators sit on this committee? I thought it was sort of a Civics 1A question. I said, sure, to hold hearings on banking-related matters and propose legislation. She didn't let me finish the sentence. She said, no. They sit on this committee to attract campaign contributions from the banking industry. And let me tell you something. Bankers are paying mightily to get bank deregulation through. And she said, now just who do you have in mind that'd be willing to pay against it?
Thank you, Stephen Pizzo, for being with us. Thank you for Inside Job, a book we all should be reading. It's not as though no one's tried to reform this campaign financing system. Back in 1907, Congress banned corporate contributions to federal campaigns. Then after the Watergate scandal in 1974, Congress established strict limits on individual campaign contributions. And then Congress tried to eliminate the influence of big money on presidential politics by establishing public financing of presidential campaigns. No luck. Like water finding its own level, money oozes through the system, searching for a loophole.
And apparently they're doing well tonight. It started around April, and it goes until at least October.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Get-togethers like this are now a daily occurrence on Capitol Hill, as many as a dozen a day.
You would have a great time. It's really beautiful.
It's the dominant party in Washington today, the fundraising party. And it demands as much time and attention from Congress as running the government. The fun is out here. The business back here.
Mr. Chalmers, I think David Jones is looking for you.
Oh, is he?
Inside there.
Okay. Is it?
He's right around here.
By the end of the night, checks totaling tens of thousands of dollars will be stuffed into this brown envelope.
Sheriff's got an envelope. Yeah. Did he give it to you?
Whichever you...
And the totals reported here to the Federal Election Commission. The FEC sets strict limits on contributions to presidential candidates. Individuals may contribute no more than $1,000.
I've been in long, tough fights before.
And only during the primary season.
I'm coming out on top.
No contributions are allowed for the general election because that is publicly funded. Both candidates will get 50 million taxpayer dollars, a reform designed to eliminate the secret fat cat contributions made famous by the Watergate scandal. Did it work?
If you read the FEC records and took them at face value, you'd think that homemakers and housewives are the biggest source of campaign money in America today.
Larry Makinson works for the Center for Responsive Politics. His investigation found FEC records often hide as much as they reveal.
We don't know who these people are. The candidates aren't telling us. The FEC records don't tell us. If somebody doesn't tell us anything at all, it's almost impossible to find out who's giving money to these candidates.
Until last year, the FEC kept no record at all of what is called soft money, money channeled indirectly to the candidates through organizations like the Democratic and Republican National Committees. The Center for Responsive Politics has spent years identifying the donors and building this database.
Soft money, it's a loophole. To be perfectly honest with you, my take on it is that it is money laundering. It is a way for all the interests in this city, and there are thousands of those interests, to pour large sums of money into the political process without accountability. They will just give it to the party, or give it to the state party, or give it to some entity, which will then wash that money through the whole system. And then you'll try to figure out who gave money to who, when, and you won't be able to find it.
Makinson and his partner Josh Goldstein have been working to unravel the soft money trail in the 1988 Bush campaign. It's not easy.
What have you got, Josh?
Okay,
They have been correlating FEC reports with soft money contributions, and they have been uncovering numbers President Bush's big donors did not want the FEC or you to see. For example, check what the FEC reports show under the name Zapala.
We have Kimberly Zapala, Joanne Zapala, and Andrea Zapala, all of the same area in St. Petersburg, Florida. Kimberly puts down that she works for Joseph Zapala and Associates.
Joseph Zapala? That would be the man President Bush made ambassador to Spain.
Do you have a Joseph, Josh?
I have Joseph Zapala at $106,000, and he and his wife gave another $5,000.
That's soft money.
Well, Sembler Company does not kick up Mr. Sembler. Yeah, 4 employees of the Sembler Company. They all gave $1,000 contributions on just about the same date. But Sembler himself, he doesn't show up in our database.
Sembler? That would be Melvin F. Sembler, Bush's choice as ambassador to Australia. Now, look at the soft money.
I have Melvin F. Sembler giving $101,000, and the Sembler Company gives an additional $15,000.
What do these men have in common besides interesting jobs? They're members of Team 100, an elite group of Bush supporters. Its captain was Bob Mosbacher.
We've got Robert A. Mosbacher, Jr. Here he is, Mosbacher Energy Company, Houston, Texas. He gave $1,000 on May 4th, 1987.
Only $1,000?
Only $1,000, that's it. He shows up having given $1,000 to George Bush.
The president named Bob Mosbacher Secretary of Commerce. The FEC still doesn't know how much he really gave. But we now know that Bob Mosbacher gave at least $100,000. That was the smallest contribution required to join the Bush campaign's Team 100. 249 Bush supporters gave over $100,000 in soft money to the 1988 Bush campaign. That's nearly $25 million. Team 100 is a secretive bunch. An alert CBS News crew caught these members arriving for a quiet little White House dinner last October. The White House didn't tell the press or anyone else about the party.
We've got Jeffrey and Joy, Applied Gem Industries, $2,000 from Jeffrey, looks like $1,500 from Joy. What have you got?
I've got Joy Silverman for $107,000.
Team 100 member Joy Silverman is the wife of Plygem Industries head Jeffrey Silverman. President Bush nominated Joy to be ambassador to Barbados, but she was blocked by the Senate because she has no college education or work experience. In all, 6 Team 100 members were nominated ambassador.
The obvious question is, the other people besides the 6, what did they get? You've got to be wondering, and you have to know in your heart that they got something. They didn't give $100,000 because They had a great affinity for Uncle Sam, and they wanted to help their country that day. I mean, that's a crock.
We're still interested in hearing about them on this soft money business.
The same idea occurred to the volunteers at Common Cause, a public interest lobby. Their researchers took a close look at the Bush Team 100 to see if those big contributions paid any dividends.
Not to accept these big fat cat contributions of soft money.
Remember those 6 nominated ambassadors? Well, all of them are involved in the real estate business. In fact, 1 out of every 4 Team 100 members was a real estate executive, 60 in all. People like developer Donald Trump, builder Trammell Crow, and shopping center magnate Alfred Taubman.
Real estate has led our economy out of almost all the tough times we've ever had.
At the urging of his real estate supporters, President Bush has called on Congress to restore a treasured tax loophole.
My plan would modify the passive loss rule for active real estate developers.
Modifying the passive loss rules would be of no help at all to homeowners or renters. That's why Congress closed that tax loophole in 1986. At a time when there is a glut of office space, many experts question the need for a special tax break for developers. Those deductions have been cited as one factor that helped fuel the massive overdevelopment which caused the collapse of the savings and loan industry. If the Bush proposal passes, Common Cause predicts that those wealthy real estate developers on Team 100, who gave a secret $6 million to the '88 Bush campaign, will qualify for tax breaks worth $2.5 billion.
Ellen Miller heads the Center for Responsive Politics in Washington. It's a nonpartisan research group that focuses on money's effect on the political process. Fred Wertheimer is the president of Common Cause, a nonprofit public interest lobby with more than 265,000 members. Can we measure the effect of soft money on presidential campaigns, the indirect money that goes in this nefarious and circuitous way, finally winds up helping the candidate? Can we measure its impact?
Well, yeah, I think we can measure its impact both on the campaigns, but much more importantly on government. This group was called Team 100. What it really is George Bush's ruling class. 249 individuals, $100,000. Now, any citizen can be a member of this ruling class. That's provided you're able to put up $100,000. It is the most exclusive club in the world, and just to describe what it's about, take 3 of the great examples of the excess and greed of the 1980s. Charles Keating, S&L kingpin. Donald Trump, real estate kingpin. Henry Kravis, corporate raider kingpin. All on the list.
Charles Keating was on the list?
Absolutely. Charles Keating, who cost us $2 billion in taxpayer money, was on that list.
It's torrents of money in $100,000 chunks. In fact, more of this kind of sewer money in the last presidential election cycle than we ever had in the days of Watergate.
I believe it's illegal. And it's a laundering process. Soft money is a scam. Everyone knows what's going on. Presidential candidates can't raise the money directly, so they raise it, run it through the parties, get the benefit of it. It's illegal in my view, but you had the enforcement agency basically wink. Everyone decided to say, well, we'll just forget about it. So a system that's supposed to be fully publicly financed now gets broken down by a scam which is illegal and which can be stopped, This doesn't have to happen.
I'm taken with your point about the impact of shifting the emphasis from the impact on politics to the impact on government, because we are now seeing cause and effect. I mean, these tax breaks for the real estate industry. The Los Angeles Times had a recent report which says that on December 2nd, George Bush met for 45 minutes with his with real estate executives and lobbyists. They pleaded for tax breaks to make up for the losses they achieved in the 1980s. Then it said congressional Democrats, Bush, as we saw in the State of the Union, actually made the proposal, and congressional Democrats not only embraced Bush's proposals, they expanded them. And the Los Angeles Times says, seldom do tax proposals as costly to the Treasury as these catch fire so quickly in Washington. And some critics argue that the ideas would not have gained such widespread support if home builders, brokers, agents, and developers had not showered Bush and key members of Congress with millions of dollars in contributions.
Question about it. And again, these are not tax breaks for the ordinary citizens. President Bush's proposal would have helped the developers. He got $6 million from Team 100. The congressional proposals had 3/4 of the House of Representatives co-sponsoring. They got $12 million in PAC money from the real estate industry. This is a classic example about how political money serves the interests of the wealthy, the powerful, and the politicians, and the taxpayers pay for it.
And you know that this is only one example. It's a good, clear example, but it happens in industry after industry in this country, and our soft money contributors represent all of those industries, whether it's the tobacco industry or the agriculture industry. I mean, each one of them is contributing to the parties to help candidates to buy the influence, to buy the access, and it has made the government rife. It goes to both the Democrats and the Republicans, and so all of them have become really the party of this elite who fund these campaigns.
Sometimes what money buys from government is not action, but no action, stalemate. Take health care. There's no way Washington cannot hear the clamor to change a system whose costs are out of control and out of reach of vast numbers of people. Yet nothing happens. To find out why, you have to watch those millions of dollars in campaign contributions making their way from the health care industry into the coffers of Democrats and Republicans alike.
Why don't you tell me what's wrong?
For most Americans, it's their worst nightmare. A sudden serious illness, the need for expensive hospital care, an accident that could wipe out your savings overnight. Many of the people who line up in the emergency rooms of big city hospitals are on fixed incomes, or they have no jobs. But this is not just a crisis for the poor. 35 million Americans have no health insurance, many of them in the middle class. 9 out of 10 Americans say America's healthcare system needs drastic overhaul. But they are waiting in the wrong line. It's 8 a.m. and the line has already started to form. A seat in this dreary corridor is one of the most valuable pieces of real estate in Washington.
I'm not sure if anybody's been invited or not. We got
People wait 2 hours or more just to make sure they get a good seat for the most important show in town. Today's hearing in the House Ways and Means Committee. These people mostly represent special interest in the healthcare industry. Doctors and pharmaceutical companies, hospitals and insurance companies, lobbyists with a job to do.
First, we want a proposal that guarantees every American will be covered by health insurance when it certainly is fully implemented.
There are no casual observers in this room. These lobbyists are here to listen to the administration's health care reform package, to make sure their client comes out a winner.
In the 4th year of his presidency, President Bush has finally come up with a plan to reform our health care system.
President Bush's moderate reform plan was applauded by lobbyists from the insurance industry and criticized by public interest groups.
The president's plan fails to address these 2 issues of paramount importance to the American people.
Congressman Don Pease from the 13th District of Ohio has watched this scene for the past 16 years.
Well, there are not very many constituents, actual residents of my district in the room, hardly ever. Constituents don't travel from Ohio or from Oklahoma or from Tennessee to Washington very often, whereas the PAC people are here all the time.
The president's plan makes a clear
Members do try to represent their constituents, but there's no one there who represents the public interest, say, poor people who don't have health insurance. Their positions may tend to get overlooked, not deliberately, but because they're not in that lobbying game.
I think that people out there don't really know the extent to which this game is played in Washington.
Vivica Novak and Vicki Kemper of Common Cause investigated the healthcare lobby.
We found that there are more than 200 medical industry PACs, that they have given over the last 10 years more than $60 million to congressional candidates. We have also found that there has been no major discussion of healthcare reform over the last decade.
Money is clearly what makes this town work or not work. Sometimes the whole object is to gum up the works.
To make things not happen.
To make things not happen, to prevent a bill from becoming law.
In the last decade, members of the Ways and Means Committee have received, on average, more than $160,000 in campaign contributions from the healthcare industry. House and Senate leadership averaged more than $250,000. Congress is now considering more than 30 healthcare reform bills, many written by the industry itself.
Many of these groups say they have reform proposals. Everything is cloaked in reform. I bet you those 60 bills, reform is used hundreds of times in all those bills that are introduced. But the wheels of government are completely intractable and are locked in because you've got all these moneyed forces all aligned to basically slow it up.
Campaign contributions by the healthcare lobby have had one obvious effect. Everyone with a stake in the status quo, doctors and insurance companies, hospitals and pharmaceutical companies, hundreds of healthcare PACs have paralyzed Congress.
What's best for the country, what is most efficient, is not the primary goal in this system. What seems to be the most important thing is survival of a member of Congress or of a particular industry.
You still have Democrats and Republicans, but I think more and more the important parties are the incumbent party and the non-incumbent party.
When there is no incumbent in a race, the healthcare industry tends to cover its bets. Take the last race for Rhode Island's 2nd District. John Reed versus Trudy Cox. The American Healthcare Association gave both candidates the same amount on the same day. So did the Corporation for the Advancement of Psychiatry. So did the American Hospital Association. But the National Association of Life Underwriters bet $3,000 on Republican Trudy Cox. After she lost, they gave the same amount to the winner. Money intended to make the new congressman think twice on health care issues.
The temptation is always there to say, well, on this issue, it's not close. My vote's not going to decide the issue. Why should I offend this powerful group? I'll just vote the way they want me to, even though in my mind and heart I have an idea that the other way may be the right way to vote.
And as long as the incumbent votes the right way, the money keeps on flowing. In the last race for Virginia's 8th District, incumbent Stan Paris was challenged by Democrat James Moran. Republican Paris was the darling of the American Medical Association. It gave the Paris campaign 4 separate contributions totaling $10,000, the legal maximum. But when Paris lost, the AMA sent a $5,000 check to the new incumbent, James Moran.
This is the cover your bases strategy. Put the money where you're going to get most for your buck.
So while the cost of health care doubles every 6 years, and citizens are overwhelmed by the health care crisis,
the president's plan makes a clear statement.
Congress mostly talks, the administration tinkers, and the lobbyists hover. There will be an accounting on how each member voted when the time comes to ask for campaign contributions.
Cost jobs for those who can least afford to lose their jobs.
And there will be plenty of health care money for members who vote the right way. Don Pease, for one, has decided to give up the money chase. He'll retire at the end of this term, frustrated by money's effect on politics, by a Congress held hostage.
It's not as much fun to be in Congress, to spend all the money that you have to spend the time raising the money, and then to have the frustrations of trying to get accomplished things that you really feel strongly about. I'm a problem-solving kind of a person. We ought to be telling people some things they don't want to hear. And members say, well, why should I do that? I might lose. I'll just be quiet and let things get worse and worse. I do despair sometimes about how we're going to resolve that.
Dr. Gwendolyn Patton, a former university professor, is now the head of a grassroots organization in Montgomery, Alabama, the Working Group on Electoral Democracy. Dr. Patton, what brought you to a concern for money in politics?
Well, as a youngster, I was very much a part of the voting rights struggle in my family, my relatives, and grassroots people all over the South. And we really thought that the vote would be the true equalizer. Many of us were disenfranchised, not only black folk, but white folk, the poll tax, all those kinds of barriers. And then finally, when we won the right to vote, people were killed, people were maimed, and we still have barriers, and we overcome some of those, voter registration and all of that. Then we came up against a blockade, and that blockade was money.
So the other side of it is one of the scholars who studies money in politics, a leading political scientist, says there's something worse than money in politics, and that's no money in politics. Because it may be true that while money corrupts, it takes a lot of money to pay for TV ads, travel, polls, organizations, all of this undergirding of the political process.
The answer to that is clean money, public financing, free TV. Now, some people sit back and say, well, public money, that's going to cost the taxpayer. Let's just take one example from your show. The SNL scandal cost the taxpayers $500 billion. That is $3,600 in taxes for you and you and you and everyone who pays taxes in this audience and everyone in America. $1 a year for public financing versus $3,600 for the SNL scandal versus the chance to get health care. It's the best investment we can make in this country.
I think you have to look at this in terms of what the real goal is. And we have to challenge in this country the assumption that public elections should be privately financed, because that's the inherent problem that we have in terms of the special interest, the vested interest, control and sway over the electoral process. We have to look at the issue of trying to eliminate the access of a citizen's, either his own or her own wealth, or access to that wealth as the determinant of influence in this political process, because that's what we have today.
As we look back historically to democracy in this country, we learned that democracy, the vote, has never really been an equalizer. George Washington was elected simply by a handful of wealthy, rich, white men with property. And through the years, it has always been you have to pay to play. We in the Deep South are hoping that the citizens of this country will begin to, to analyze what we call a democracy here. When women got the vote, then you got the poll tax. It has always been you have to pay to play. And I think we all ought to be outraged, and that financing of our elections, and not simply on the federal, national level, but on the state level. I can tell you some horror stories on the state level about private money. But in fact,
influencing government data.
Oh, one person in Alabama gave 25 senators out of 35 state senators campaign contributions. He gave 60 state representatives out of 105 representatives campaign contributions. One person, $640,000. He bought the Alabama state legislature. And the first item on the agenda was for a dog track that he wanted in our metropolitan area, city. And so what we say in Alabama, the rank and file, the grassroots, Alabama's government has gone to the dogs.
Can I pick up on one point here? Change is possible. There is hope. You cannot see the change going on around the world, in the Soviet Union, in Eastern Europe, the transition in South Africa, and think that we can sit here without the world passing us by. We can get change, but this is the bottom line. Citizens here are going to have to demand it. They're going to have to say, we're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore.
But why do you think the scandals so far that we've just seen bare surfaces of have been swallowed so lamely by most of them?
Not fallen lamely. Look what's happening this year. The anger is finally starting to come out. I think people question whether you can actually do it. They get cynical.
They do, Fred, but the fact of the matter is money is already intertwined in the two alternatives that the people will have. I mean, just take the healthcare. Healthcare advisors, lobbyists, are a part of every one of the Democratic campaigns, and the principal healthcare advisor to the George Bush reelection campaign is a registered lobbyist in behalf of 4 companies in the health industry, plus representing the Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Association.
I think the corruption of money in politics has thus far been a very subtle and corrosive kind of event. It's more akin to a thousand smoldering cigars than it is the smoking gun that we had in Watergate. What I think is happening is that the public, and we see this in poll after poll in this election year, is becoming much more aware of the specific influence of vested interest money in campaigns.
Let's say there is anger out there. They still are limited to choices in November that are deeply infected by the very toxic influence of money we've been talking about.
They can basically say, put up or shut up or perhaps get out. They can basically demand an end to this legalized corruption. It is not an overstatement to say that the essence of our democracy is on the line here, and we have got to take it back in citizens, and I believe if we demand it, we can do it. But if we sit around and mope in Washington, not just our rights and our democracy, but our economics, our health care is all going to be played out for dollars with special interests.
I really think that we're going to have to do it as grassroots citizens. Otherwise, we risk a real revolutionary type of struggle in this country as the crisis deepens. We have it. Down south, we're asking candidates to sign pledges to say that they will not take X amount of money, that they will relate and be accountable to the constituents. If we go out there and say this is not a difficult thing, this is easy, they're thieves, they're robbers, you know, they're extorting money from us, people understand
Using
that.
real language. I mean, you talked about legalized corruption. She says stealing, extortion. Are you all three saying that it should be only public financing? Isn't there a way to have small contributions from millions of citizens so that they feel they have a stake in this, other than just checking off this list and having the money taken by
We have a little bit of a difference here. We see a role for very small private contributions, but you have to understand, in the dollar tax checkoff today, the public financing system, millions of citizens are checking off $1 to get a clean system, and that's where this scam of soft money breaks it down. We think there can be a role for small private contributions, but public financing is the key. It's critical.
It would be very expensive all the way down through the system. I mean, as Herbert Alexander, who is probably the leading scholar in academia of money and politics, says, the $2.7 billion spent in 1987 and 88 on all elections was not a lot of money for a nation as large as ours. It was about the size of what Philip Morris and Procter & Gamble spent on their advertising.
Well, we don't have to spend that much money, but I come back to you. What we spend on our election, we can make a choice. We can put up a little money, all of us, 200 million Americans, or we can sit here and watch our government being stolen from us, our health care being stolen from us, S&L scandals, anything you can think of, you can watch it being taken away from you by this private money.
Let me make that even more specifically. For $5 to $10 per taxpayer, we could have a system of total public financing for all congressional and presidential races, Congress, House, and Senate, primary and general, total public financing for a cost of $5 to $10 a taxpayer. I mean, compare that to the cost of the S&L bailout. And I think the sense is that in order to establish a financially level playing field, that we have to look at some kind of vacuum sealed system. Sure, there's room in it for small contributions. Maybe those go to political parties. But when you begin to design a system that has the potential for crevices and cracks, that's when you have the kinds of problems that you have in today's system in terms of soft money.
I think our government ought to be financed automatically as a line item in the budget. I don't think that, the checkoff is okay. I'm not opposed to that. But I think that democracy is so important that it ought to be institutionalized in the expenditures of funds from the government, state and national.
Thank you very much, Ellen Miller, Fred Wertheimer, and Gwendolyn Patton. Last word goes to the chair. I used to think that Henry Miller was just being clever when he said, "The blind lead the blind, it's the Democratic way." Well, now we know what he meant. Our political leaders have shut their eyes to the corruption of our system, brought on by their obeisance to money, and they do their best to keep us in the dark about their worst. Only too late did we learn how the public was flagrantly ripped off by con men in the thrift industry, aided and abetted by a kept Congress. Then both parties joined with the White House in a compact of silence about the true magnitude of the costs. That done, the election over, the very government that did the dirty work in the first place slaps the taxpayers with the price of the cleanup. Without a blush of shame, they come back now in 1992 and say, "Give us power again, so we can do it again." Well, it doesn't have to be this way. The British limit their campaigns to just 3 weeks. They put a limit of $15,000 on spending, and they give the candidates free and equal television. We could do this too, except that the officials who must change our system are the very people who benefit from its plunder. Millions of Americans are angry about all this, as Dr. Patton said. But the plunder is organized and championed. The anger is not. Thank you for listening to America with us. I'm Bill Moyers. Next time on Listening to America.
Worried that you're falling behind, not living as well as you did or expected to?
When I left university, I didn't have nobody but me to depend on. Well, some people can say, well, I had a nest egg. I didn't even have an egg. I'm serious.
Worried that pension you've been promised may not be there when you retire.
Now that the company belongs to a Mexican outfit, they're able to just pick up and go back to Mexico, and there we are.
Worried that the people who represent you in Congress are taking care of themselves and their friends at your expense? You're right. Keep worrying.
Our broadcast is based on 2 years of reporting by the Philadelphia Inquirer team of Donald Bartlett and James Steele. Twice before they've won the Pulitzer Prize. Now they're participating in this television adaptation of their acclaimed series, America, What Went Wrong.
With public television, you get a second chance. This program is broadcast again at 3 a.m.
Listening to America was made possible by Mutual of America and its family of companies. The John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, a catalyst for change. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and viewers like you. Video cassettes of Listening to America can be purchased for $39.95 plus shipping and handling by calling toll-free 1-800-328-PBS-1.
This is PBS.
For a transcript of Listening to America, send $5 to Journal Graphics, 1535 Grant Street, Denver, Colorado, 80203. Or call 1-303-831-9000.
What's your name, honey? What's your name? What's your name? Quickly, quickly. I have a telephone call for you. Oh, here. It's for you. Here.
Oh, come on. I don't believe this.
Who is this? You know who this is on the other line?
No, I don't.
It's your mother, and she's saying, go out with this young man. He's a wonderful person. He'll take care of you for the rest of your life. How about that?
You're very charming.
Oh, thank you very much.
A week late, you know.
So what are you going to do, slap me around? It'd be on your conscience, Joey.
What's a conscience, Alex?
Perry, look who's here. I mean, who's here?
A little late, ain't you, Alex?
I was born late.
Aces.
Look what I got for you, big boy.
Two aces.
Look at that, simple. Think you're going to count it, Harry?
Dumb to cheat, Alex. I'll
That's 10.
You don't have to count it. What's the matter with you? Listen,
What is
put
it
to
with
your
you
mind
guys?
to count.
What's my call? You want to have a meeting? Go run an office.
Harry, you're losing your hair.
Don't aggravate me, Alex.
You're losing your hair a little bit.
Huh?
Harry, is that an empty seat I see over there?
You got money left, Alex?
Are you kidding me? I got unlimited financing.
Good on.
I can't believe this. They always interrupt when I'm losing. Why don't you interrupt when I'm winning?
Call me
Sit down.
Call me when you're winning.
Deal.
And I'll interrupt
Deal.
you. What's the game, boys?
5 card stud, $500 buy-in, table stakes.
All right, there. Listen, I'm going to play 500 hands and then I'm leaving. That's it.
That ain't funny, Alex.
Harry, you're getting fat. You must be eating your own food.
That ain't funny, Alex. Nothing you say is funny.
Well, that's the difference between you and me, Harry. I think that's funny, and you don't think that's funny. Thanks all kinds. Yeah, Siggy, this is for you up front, see? That's
Thank you very much.
Boy, how come nobody's talking about my suit?
You look like an ice cream salesman, Alex.
I still catch it on better tablecloths than the one you're wearing, Harry. I'm in.
Let's deal. The game.
I'm glad I came.
In.
If you don't show on time, it won't bother me none. You know what I mean, Alex?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Kovac. Gotta have the money tomorrow.
Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Come on down, I'm here now! I'm here! Ha ha ha! Tomorrow, Alex!
Come on down.
I need to talk to you. You look awful. I won't ask what you slept with last night. Where's Alex?
Not here. Want some coffee?
I would love some, but I just don't have a minute to myself anymore.
Lillian, I don't have no money.
You think I come here just for the money? I come here to see you. To see how you are.
you up against it. I'll write a check, but please don't put it until Friday, because we're having a little problem here.
Jerry, with you, it's always a problem.
Your husband left you with his 2 kids and no money, not me.
Yeah, but you were married to me too, Jerry. Remember?
It was before him. I don't even know the kids. $500.
3's all right.
$300 smackaroonies for Lillian Berman.
Morning, Mr. Kovac.
Morning, Harvey.
Just took Mrs. Feldman up. She seems upset.
Mrs. Berman, Harvey. She married Mr. Berman after she married Mr. Feldman.
Well, whoever she is, I just took her up.
Oh, Jerry, I'm sorry.
No.
Are you sure it's all right?
Oh.
I mean, I don't want to put you out.
Well, you are. Don't matter.
Thank you. I love you so much. Isn't Alex looking good? You've been working out.
I jog to the store every morning for cigarettes, Lillian.
I'm late.
She's late. I'll walk her to the door.
I'll talk to you during the week, Chair. Bye, handsome.
I'm up to 6 packs a day, Lil. She's a beauty. How much did you give her?
Let's not talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it either. I want to talk about good things. Wonderful, magnificent things. Healthy things. I had a wonderful day, Jerry. A wonderful, unbelievable day. Yesterday. How'd you do? Get any money from your old man?
We missed connections.
Well, don't worry about it, Jerry. Magical wonderful. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Wonderful day. I bumped into Yossi. Remember Yossi?
Yossi?
Yeah. Anyway, I get this tip from Yossi.
Yossi gives you a horse?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
I tied him up with 2 long shots and bought an exacta.
Oh, that's bright. Very bright.
That's how I felt
Goes
about
through
it.
your head when you do things like that. What? Why don't you just play him straight up?
Jerry, I'm talking about a wonderful day here.
You mean?
Will you let me tell a story?
You want an exacta?
Are you going to let me tell a story?
You want an exacta?
Oh. I won.
You won.
Why don't you let me finish a story, Jerry?
You won an exacta?
You never let me finish a story.
How much?
I want to talk to you.
How much?
I want to talk to you.
How much?
I won $15,000.
You won $15,000.
That's right.
Where's the money?
Where is it? That's what you say when I win $15,000?
What do you want me to say to you?
I want you to say, happy, happy, I am happy. Hooray!
Hooray!
Dance up and down, jump up and down when I say $15,000. Where is it? I got the car out.
Huh?
So now, I jumped down to Schatzi's and I paid Harry to 6, right? I paid him off.
You paid Harry?
That's right.
The whole thing?
Yes.
The whole thing?
Why are you questioning me?
The whole thing.
Yes. I said yes. I mean yes. Yes.
Well, wonderful. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful.
So now I got close to 9 left.
No, 9,000.
No, close to 9, Jerry, because I paid $300 for the car. And I gave Ziggy a tip.
Okay, oh, you were playing poker.
I was getting bad cards, Jerry.
Oh.
Harry was needling me. I hate needling.
Okay, the 9's gone.
I couldn't see the cards.
You lost the whole $9,000.
More. If I won one hand, I won a lot.
How much more?
10.
You lost $10,000. Okay. We owe Harry 1,000.
No, Jerry.
No.
I told you I lost a 9, right?
I think so.
Well, I lost 10 more. I lost 10 more on top of the 9. I'm exhausted. I was up all night. I'm going to get a nap. What is this? I told you to take the laundry in last week. What's the matter with you? Are you in a cloud? If you're going to leave it on the floor, leave it in front of your own bed. Yeah. I'm hungry. Come on, let's get something to eat.
This bum can't carry his weight on the street for 500 today. And you give him 10,000 of my money?
Figured I was doing the right thing.
You figured. You got a vacancy upstairs since you were born. And you're figuring?
Well, look, he paid us the 6.
Since when are you making a decision with my money?
Kovac's getting ready to submerge. We'll be lucky if he comes up for groceries.
Stop worrying. I'll get us out. Don't I always get us out?
Yeah, for 2 weeks last July. Alex, look what they did to the car.
Jerry, things like that happen in New York every day. What are you going to do, worry about it? You got to take the good with the bad when you live here. Let's eat. What are you going to get from a menu you don't know by heart already? You come here every day. Just think what you want and order it.
I can't concentrate.
I'll be back in a minute. Take all the time you want.
Hold it, Verna. Listen, Jerry. Salami sandwich on rye. Orange juice, large. You see?
You got it.
Okay.
Alex, are those girls hookers?
2 coffees, Verna. You want to talk to them? I'll get them.
Come on. Come on, babe.
You relax. Relax, yeah. You're full of tension this morning. What are you thinking about?
The money.
Don't think about money. Clear your mind, Jerry. Relax. You're all bottled up. Yeah. Look, your brain's in a knot. Here. Relax your face. Relax. All that in there. Just attaboy. See? No wonder you can't concentrate. Relax your shoulders. Close your eyes. Relax your shoulders. Relax your arms. Relax them. Just let them fall like sides of beef. Look, just let them fall. That's it. Beautiful. You're very good at this. Think about something white, smooth and white, big. Like the side of a boat. That's nice. getting tension in your eyes. You feel the tension in your, right? Your lips. Your lips are tense. What are you doing with your fingers? You see this? You don't listen to me. If you listened to me, you wouldn't be so... Oh. Thought I was going to get lucky and not have to see you till tomorrow.
Today is tomorrow as of yesterday. I don't go by when the game ends.
I can't make sense out of those words, Harry. You're talking with a limp.
Look, at 7 o'clock tonight, I'm going to come by your place. And I'm going to ask real politely for my money. At which time, Alex will real politely give me my money. At which time, I will not pour acid on his face. You understand that, don't you, Alex?
Either he pays or he pays.
Hey, that's funny. That's cute. Hey, I like you. You're a cute little guy. You understand that, huh? Tonight. What's so funny, Alex?
I don't know.
7 o'clock.
How much money you got on there? Not much. Perfect. We're going to Vegas.
Las Vegas?
I don't know any other Vegas here.
I'll bring your other coffee when I get your order, Jerry.
Pay it. Pay it, Jerry. Pay it.
Call me. You don't have to say a word. We'll do all the talking.
Call 1-900-454-4545. $25 per call, must be 18.
Call me.
Hello, folks. I'm Woodrow W. Woody, your friendly neighborhood Pontiac dealer on Joseph Comport Carpenter since January the 2nd, 1940. We survived wars and recessions as well as peace and prosperity. I may have sold your mom, dad, and granddad their Pontiacs, so why not you? We enjoyed an unprecedented 97% customer satisfaction rating. Visit us, you'll like us, and I'll be here to personally welcome you. So long. See you soon. Drive carefully.
We can't hold on any longer. After 40 years, Sterling Furniture Gallery of Warren will close forever. A gigantic inventory of fine furniture must be liquidated immediately. Percentages mean nothing.
Final price is everything.
Shop us first or last. We won't be undersold.
No price beats a going out of business price.
Get to Sterling Furniture Gallery's going out of business sale. Warren Showroom only, 23335 Van Dyke Avenue, 4 blocks north of 9 Mile Road.
To achieve your ultimate potential, we introduce the Nordic Flex Gold, the breakthrough in strength training technology that makes all other machines obsolete, including SoloFlex. Nordic Flex Gold is 5 ways better than SoloFlex. Nordic Flex Gold simulates the linear motion of free weights, maximizing your workout. In contrast, SoloFlex uses a less effective arcing motion, which can pull your body out of the correct workout position. Nordic Flex Gold has isokinetic resistance to match your natural strength curve. Your body is stronger at certain points of the stroke and weaker at others. The isokinetic resistance of Nordic Flex Gold accommodates these differences, supplying the most resistance when you are strongest and the least when you are weakest. So you get maximum resistance throughout the entire range of motion and maximum results. On a SoloFlex, the resistance simply increases as the rubber band stretches. It does not match your natural strength curve, so your workout is less efficient. Nordic Flex Gold's isokinetic resistance also gives you speed and convenience. You quickly move between exercises without changing steel plates or rubber bands. With Nordic Flex Gold, changeover between exercises is up to 40% faster than SoloFlex. Only Nordic Flex Gold has an electronic feedback system to tell you the number of reps and how much weight you've lifted. With SoloFlex, an electronic performance monitor is simply not available. And Nordic Flex Gold is a better value. Nordic Flex Gold costs only $999 complete. A Solo Flex costs $1,000. And to get the leg and butterfly attachments costs you an extra $500. Nordic Flex Gold, a better workout, faster and more effective for 1/3 less money. The comparison is clear, the choice is obvious. Call now to order your Nordic Flex Gold, the ultimate strength training machine for the ultimate body.
It's fresh.
It's new. It's live.
It's one-on-one.
It's just what you've been waiting for. 1-900-GET-GIRL.
More fun.
More excitement. The kinds of girls you like to talk to. 1-900-GET-GIRL.
Write it down.
Remember it. 1-900-GET-GIRL. Just $1.98 a minute for adults only.
Call now.
Body?
Don't get nervous, dear. We don't want to hurt you. We just want to talk to you.
What do you want to talk about?
You know Alex Kovac, don't you?
Yeah?
Will you give me a straight answer? Where is he?
Oh, I don't know.
She isn't nervous. Just a little shy, ain't you, honey?
Where is he?
I don't know. Where they went.
Went?
I don't know.
Joey, did you hear something about went? I don't remember saying anything about went.
That's the word you heard.
Where'd they go? Where'd they go?
Vegas.
Watch this. Watch my finger. Don't look out there, see? Ready? You ready now? Okay, Jerry. Here you go. This is your life, Jerry Feldman.
Hi.
Jerry, look at these.
Would you have a light?
No, I don't, honey. What's your name?
Rusty, what's your name?
Jerry Rusty. Give her a light, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
Hi.
Oh.
Is that an original Zippo?
Yeah.
Would you
Really?
would you look at this action, Jerry? Is this beautiful? Give me what you got. Come on.
Busy?
Yes, we are, Jerry. I'm sorry, honey.
Well, happy trails, boys.
Happy trails to you, too, honey.
You ever see someone so pretty?
Yes, I did, Jerry, once.
Is that chick a hooker?
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Pardon me.
Follow me. Excuse me.
Pardon me.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Pardon. Step aside, please.
Young
Thank
man.
you. Move right in here.
Young man, can't you see there's a line here?
I have an appointment here.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, gentlemen?
Excuse me. This is Jerry Feldman. Mr. Feldman,
Yes?
we like our reservations.
Oh, boy.
No, I'm sorry, I don't show a reservation for Mr. Feldman today.
Gee, that's surprising.
Well, wait a minute now.
Could it be under another name?
Oh,
Another
sure.
name? You gotta be kidding. Bernie Gold made these reservations. Mr. Feldman here's a personal friend of Bernie's. They talk to each other personally. I don't understand this.
Mr. Gold made the reservation?
Made the reservations. You talking to me? Oh, I don't know.
Was it recently made?
Was this recently made? About a week, right, Jerry? About a week ago.
A week, 7 days.
There you go, 7 days. We were supposed to have dinner with Mr. Gold tonight. His friend Bernie.
Yeah, Shannon, do you have anything on the comps if
I was counting on it. I even turned down a dinner on a plane.
Yes, I do. Full comp. Oh, incidentally, he likes to go riding with the boss.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm sure if Mr. Gold made arrangements to be here, he certainly will. In the meantime, let me make you as comfortable as possible.
It's wonderful.
Pardon, please?
What's your name?
Jordan, sir. Alfred Jordan.
Alfred Jordan.
Yes, sir.
Jordan, you know something? There was a time. Can I have the key? You know, I lost money in this place when there was no roof on it. When this place was a convertible, I was losing money in this joint. I used to know everybody here, everybody.
Really?
That's right. They took care of me, and I took care of them.
Really?
Well, first things first. I'll see you when we check out.
Thank you. Mr. Feldman, if there's anything you need, don't hesitate to ask.
You're welcome.
Would you take Mr. Feldman and his party to Dr. Zhivago, Suite E, please?
Okay.
Mr. Feldman.
Jerry Feldman and Alex Kovac.
Mr. Feldman.
How are you?
May I see your key, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Second suite on your left.
Thank you very much.
That's no money, pal.
Here it is. The Dr. Zhivago suite. Dum, dum, da-dum, da-da-da-dum, da-dum. I'm closing my eyes, Jerry. Tell me. What is it like?
I think you better open them.
No.
Open your eyes, stupid. I think we better go.
Good evening, Miss Warner. How are you tonight?
Oh, hi, George.
Oh. It's a pool.
In the room.
There's no drawer in this pool. We have to make a list. Solve all these problems immediately. Otherwise, I won't be able to sleep. In my bed, Jerry. I won't be able to sleep here. Oh. Oh. Look. They gave you a mirror so you could watch yourself sleep. Isn't that wonderful? This is where I lived, Jerry. I fell in love and lost a lot of money right out of this hotel when you were married to Lillian. And I never even knew this place existed.
That's where we know Bernie Gold from.
No! You know where we know Bernie Gold from?
Oh.
The marquee in front of the hotel. Bernie Gold presents Dean Martin. Remember that?
Alex. Oh. What happens when they tell this guy that Bernie Gold, his great friend Jerry Feldman, is here?
Let's not worry about that now. Wait a minute.
How about now, maybe?
Hello. Dom Perignon. Yes.
Who's that?
Some guy wants to know if there's any particular brand of champagne we would like compliments to the house. I'll get it.
I'll get my hat and bags.
Hello. It's you.
Who's you? Who's her?
Jerry, this is Patty. This is the Patty. Jerry Patty.
Patty. What a real pleasure.
Nice meeting you, Jerry. You finally made the big win.
Would you like a drink?
Yeah, get her a drink.
How do you know Bernie?
Let's just say Bernie knows us.
What do you mean Bernie knows you? What do you mean?
Look, forget it. You don't want to know. It's a very complicated story. You are beautiful.
Thank you. What is this?
It's water. Would you like some ice with that?
Thank you.
Yeah, get us some ice. Saved by the bell. Excuse me. Hello. Ah, good to see you, gentlemen. Come on in. Where would you like this, sir? Why don't you put it on the coffee table now? What happened to you guys? You're both from the same ward? Well, how about this, huh? Is this wonderful? Is this wonderful? Look at this. Look. There we go. Put it right there. We're having a party. We're having a party. How long has it been, anyway?
6 years.
6 years? What are you doing here, anyway?
I work here.
Doing very nicely at it, too, I might add. How long has he been keeping you?
Oh, God.
Hold it. Just a second. Hold it. Hold everything. Hold it. I said something wrong, didn't I? Huh?
I don't want to say nothing
Look,
now.
if I did something wrong, then you explain to me, understand?
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll apologize. What do you want?
Excuse me, is there anything else we can get for you, Miss Warner?
No, thank you.
How about the
Everything's
check?
fine.
Just give me the check.
No check, sir.
Then I can't give you a tip. You understand this? Wait here. Will you wait for a second? Will you please wait for a second? Please, honey, please, please. God. What's the matter with you? You just sit here listening. Pick up the phone. Hello. What do you got for us? Mr. Hugold. Take it, will you?
What?
It's Bernie Gold. Talk to him.
No. What do you talk to him?
You talk to him. Talk to him. What's he gonna do? Throw us out?
Probably the best thing that could happen to us. Yes.
I never carry cash.
Mr. Feldman speaking.
We understand, sir.
I know you from someplace, don't I?
I don't think so, sir.
Yes, I do. Maybe I don't.
I'm fine, Bird. How are you?
Look, let's just be nice. You're a nice person, I'm a nice person. How about that?
Riding? That's great.
Glad you're having a good time.
I'm fine. I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
You're too busy. Next week, Bern.
Yes.
Next week.
I'll see you tomorrow, Mr. Gold.
No, not tomorrow. Next week. Bernie.
Bernie.
Jeez. What'd he say?
Wants me to go over his house for dinner and talk over old times.
Well, that should be a hell of a conversation, huh?
What's going on?
This guy thinks I'm someone else.
Yeah, what a break. What a wonderful break.
Alex. He thinks he's a friend of mine, but he's not. Remember that?
He is today. He's a wonderful friend. I'm crazy about this guy. And we're gonna live like kings till tomorrow, Jerry. That's the way it's gonna go. What's that, bad?
I can't believe this. I absolutely cannot believe this. How far do you think you're going to take this, huh?
Yeah, how far?
To the moon, that's how far. As far as I can. As far as I can. I'm going to take this one all the way.
I'm not going to let you do this.
You're not going to let me?
No.
Who are you? What are you talking about, you're not going to let me? Who the hell do you think you are? You're not going to let me.
Oh, she's right.
Right. Right. Right. Right. The waiter. I knew I saw that face before. I gotta go.
Where you going? I've got to talk to you.
I'll be back.
I want to talk to you now.
Me too.
Me too. We will talk. I'll tell you what you do. Take Jerry downstairs to see that wonderful show downstairs. Have dinner and drinks. Take that frown off your face. I'll join you. We'll talk our brains out. 24 hours, I gotta create miracles.
Alex.
It's always up to me. What's his name? What's his name?
You know, if you're in a jam, he's probably the best guy to have around. Even though he probably put you in the jam to begin with. You think I'm too short?
Too short for what?
I've been told I'm very bold. How about you? Are you the bold, daring type? You are. Well, let's see. Write down my number.
1-900-933-8101. $4.99 per minute. Adults only.
So go ahead. Pick up the phone and give me a call right now. I dare you.
I'm Gene Zamler of Zamler, Mellon, and Schiffman. Before you hire a law firm for any kind of personal injury, listen to these facts about our firm. We have 15 lawyers, and each one specializes in a particular area of the law. We have settled over 40,000 cases. In 1991, we settled many cases for over $100,000. Few lawyers have handled million-dollar cases. We have. We have 4 locations to serve you. One is near you. Call us for a free consultation.
It's the national brand name sale at Lasky Furniture. Get Lasky's 5-store buying power, plus the national names like Bassett, Armstrong, Spring Air, Serta, Broyhill, and more. All at 35 to 70% off. Save $400 on this sofa from Shaw. You pay just $398. Get the winning combination. National brand names and Lasky's huge buying power at 35 to 70% off. But hurry to Lasky Furniture, Detroit, Warren, Livonia, Taylor, and Northwest Detroit.
And you also called.
Yeah, I talked to Linda, and it's been a tough year for me financially and emotionally, and I've had to make some difficult decisions, which, you know, she gave me a lot of reassurance about. She also told me I'd get a job, starting a new job in 2 months, and I got a phone call this morning.
This morning?
That said I'd be starting a new job, training in 30 days, and the job will start like 2 months from now. It's incredible.
That's amazing. All of that by making a simple phone call to a professional psychic. That's great. Who else has called now in this audience? Who called the Professional Psychic Counselors Network?
I did.
You have?
I called Kai, and I had some bad times in a relationship. Everything's going great.
She told you it would be?
Yes, I had to release some of the stress, and things would go great.
Oh, that is amazing. All right. People using their telephones to speak in person with some of the best psychics in America. And now you two can share in this special experience. Hello, I'm Richard Foster, your host for There Is an Answer. Since we first introduced you to the Professional Psychic Counselors Network, over 172,000 successful psychic consultations have taken place over the telephone. Live personal readings from psychics like Margot Deskin, Jack Moon, PMH Atwater, Elizabeth Lynn, and Dr. Prem Deben. Only professional psychics work on the network, and it's the only service which automatically forwards your call to the home or office of the psychic of your choice for advice 24 hours a day. Advice which has helped so many callers who have written to us, like Carla Bloom, who was forewarned about an emergency she was able to overcome, Wynette Imes, who's got romance back in her relationship, and Marta Copen, who found a missing son with the help of the Professional Psychic Counselors Network. And now it's your chance to speak with a psychic counselor who can help with your future. All it takes is a phone call to the number on your screen, and you'll be sent a free gift when you call.
$3.50 per minute. You must be 18.
Smitty Carpenter, that's right. You know we can find him?
Well, he's on his break right now.
Where is that?
Well, only employees are allowed in that area.
That's what they all say. Honey, thank you very much. Have a nice day. Pardon me. There he is, Smitty Carpenter.
Dr. Zhivago, what are you doing here?
I'm a fan of yours. I'm a great admirer of yours, Smitty. I seen you in action years back when you beat the Silver Slipper for a lot of bucks. Must have been $30,000.
$32,500 and change.
That was one of the great nights of my life.
Ice skaters have great bodies. I was up front. I can look you in the eye right now. 10 years from now, I can look you in the eye. Straight, proud, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm starting to get the little pressure in the head, you know? But that's good.
You mean now?
Yeah, right now. It's in there. I can feel it. And you know something? That's when I knew I was gonna win.
I know what you mean.
You? Yeah?
Sure.
You too?
I'm standing right here.
Yeah?
Who do you think you're talking to?
Right.
We're the same animal.
Yeah, but you used to go crazy. I get a little sick. I bet on anything. I mean, you know what I mean? I go to a party, I bet on the hors d'oeuvres, a lazy Susan, I mean, the raindrops, anything.
Me too.
I'm sick.
That's
don't
no
you
good.
understand?
That's no good.
I know.
Me too. I'm like that.
And then I do bad things, you know? You know what I mean? Yeah, it hurt people.
Well, that's no good to hurt people.
You don't think I always walk like this, do you? Huh? I think this is my favorite show.
There's so much going on.
Better go back upstairs.
Elephants.
Think positively. Don't look at the ground. Look at the sky.
Yeah?
Look at the sun. Look at the birds. Enjoy life. How much would it take to get you back into action? I'm talking about big action.
Missed me? You missed the tiger.
I didn't miss nothing. I missed you.
The elephants came by so close we thought they were going to crash the rail.
Elephants, schmelephants. What about this?
What are you doing?
Have I told you lately how beautiful you are?
I think so, Alex.
So I'll tell you again.
Oh, good.
What, is that bad? Jerry, tell her it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Remember the last time we were together?
Yeah? Yeah, I remember. You tried to put me together with this guy that was going to get you straight, right? Remember that?
That's the last time you remember.
Yeah.
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 Excuse me, Miss Warner?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Cole called and he says he's coming in tonight instead of tomorrow. Oh, he said, don't tell Mr. Feldman. It's going to be a surprise.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
What'd he say?
No. It's a surprise. We're going to surprise him. Let's go. Come on.
What's the rush? I want to watch the rest of the show.
Don't argue with me. Don't argue with me. You ain't got time. Come on.
Come on, don't talk to me that way.
You stay here. Just sign the check with Jerry's name. I'll see you later.
Wait a minute. Who do you think you're talking to?
I'm talking to you. And leave a big tip. Come on.
Fine, Patty.
Come on, come on. Not just the waiter, Jerry. Jerry, this is the guy that's going to get us out. Now, I'll be at the Parisian bar. I have to call him up, see?
Okay.
You go ahead.
What happens if we lose?
If we lose, we're gambling here, aren't we? If we lose, they get their money back. If we win, we pay them back. What are you thinking about?
I don't know.
You don't know?
10,000?
10,000, Jerry. Cash the check.
10,000.
I'll be at the Parisian bar. On the telephone.
Yes, sir. Can I help you?
Yes, sir. I'd like to cash a check.
Okay, do you have any identification?
Yes, I'm Jerry Feldman, a good friend of Bernie Gold.
Oh, yes, I know all about it. You're all set. How much did you want to cash?
10,000?
10,000? Do you have your own check with you?
No. I left my checkbook,
So I'll let you sign a marker. I'll make this out for 10,000. I need to have you sign it right here, sir.
We are ready to go, Smitty. Did I wake you up? Did I wake you up? Well, it's got to be soon because we're all set. I can come down and pick you up.
There's 5,000 in each one of these bands. It's 5,000, and that's 10,000.
I don't need to...
It's all there. Good luck to you, sir. Yeah, good luck to you. Good luck to you, sir.
Minutes, Smitty, minutes. All right.
You having a good time?
Harry, what a break. I was just trying to get you on the phone to New York. Jerry is supposed to bring the money here.
Garbage.
Any minute. Your money.
Garbage.
Dusty?
Hey, baby, come on, let's go. Wow, you're looking good. I guess we'll go to my room, huh?
You see, I have the 2 drinks here. I was waiting for Jerry to show up with your money. Just right now. I'm so relieved to have this whole situation over with.
You did.
You look absolutely beautiful.
No,
Patty, am I too late?
Late for what?
I need to be alone with you for a while. It's urgent.
Sydney, this is, Jerry Feldman.
Hi. Look, I'm sorry, but do you need her now? Huh? It's very urgent for me.
Could you excuse us?
Listen to me. Better do what you gotta do to get. Or you gotta be up to your eyeballs in the desert. Huh? You know what I mean, Alex? I want the money. You know what I mean, huh?
I like to do it in the dark.
Is that why you brought me up here?
Yeah. Where else am I going to take you, Patty?
Oh. Come on, Jerry. You're not like this.
Yes, I am. Maybe I'm more nervous now, but I'm like this usually. This is me.
Look, Jerry, I'm involved with somebody, okay? And he's very good to me, and he's very good to my daughter.
Nothing the matter with that, Patty.
What did Alex say to you?
Alex? Oh, we don't have to do anything.
Oh, my God.
Okay, look, I'll put my pants back on. Here, take the money anyway.
Oh, I don't want your money.
Oh, this is cute. I'm downstairs waiting for you, and you're up here with my girl.
Your girl?
Your girl? Where did that come from? Huh?
I'm talking to him. I'm not talking to you.
Look, I made a mistake. She's a decent chick, Alex.
She's a decent chick, Jerry. She's a hooker. She's a hooker.
Alex, she's got a kid, too.
What is that supposed to mean to me? What about what you did to me?
What are you talking?
What about what you did to me? What about this, huh?
What happened?
Nothing. Harry got tired of waiting. That's what happened.
Harry's here?
Yeah, and Joey.
Oh.
Where you going?
I'll go downstairs. I'll pay him before someone gets killed.
You're going nowhere. We need that money.
Maybe you got a death wish. I don't.
You're not going anywhere, Jerry. We need the money.
For what? Funeral expenses?
You stay here. That money's our ticket to get out.
You gotta...
Are you crazy? Huh?
I'm sorry. I lost my head.
Yeah? Well, that's not all you lost, pal.
Jerry. Jay, come on. I apologize.
I'm gonna go downstairs, and you're not gonna stop me.
Why did I do it? Why do I do it? Why?
Good evening.
What are you doing?
I'm calling a doctor.
You don't have to do that.
Yes, I do. Hi, this is Patty Warner. I'd like to speak to Dr. Green, please. Doctor? I'm in the Dr. Zhivago suite, and a friend of mine just cut himself. It looks pretty bad. Thank you.
You're lucky you got away from me when you did. Now you're happy.
Let me see that hand.
I want you to know, you meant a lot to me. I just didn't have anything to give you, that's all. There, so I said it. What?
I'd like to straighten out our problem.
You forgive me, don't you?
Yeah, I forgive you. Of course I forgive
Got a kid, huh?
you. I know. I have a little 5-year-old girl. And I'm so proud of her.
Well, that's great. You finally got the family you wanted.
Yeah, I finally did it.
I'm happy for you.
After all those years. I just don't want anything to spoil it.
What are you talking about? What's going to spoil it? What's going to spoil it? What are you talking about? Who's the father, Patty? Who's the father?
Bernie Gold takes care of her. And as far as Taj is concerned, that's her father.
Good for you.
Why do you want to go in here?
So we can have a little privacy.
That's good thinking, Harry.
You know, you want to get rid of that creep, Alex. You can do a lot better than that.
Maybe he's okay in my book.
It's okay. I killed better people than I'll ever be.
That's enough.
What the you touch? Don't touch. Don't put your hands on me.
Okay, I just didn't want to hear any more about Alex.
I don't care about Alex. I don't care about you.
Okay. I just changed my mind. I don't have the money.
What do you mean? Give me that money.
No.
Give me that.
I got it.
You got lucky, young man. I know it's just a puncture, but I'd still get that X-ray if I were you. Where you going? You walking away from me?
No.
Huh?
What are you doing?
Please don't.
Please what?
Please. I'll take care of the money with Bernie. You just get out of here.
I don't know if I'm gonna do that.
It'll be okay, I promise. You'll understand.
Oh. Am I glad to see you? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So sorry, Jerry. What happened?
I'm in big trouble. I did it. I can't believe I did it, but I did it.
What did you do?
What did I do? I kicked it to Harry, that's what I did. I'm not going to walk away from it now.
You're beautiful. I can't believe it. Oh, Jerry, you're beautiful.
I'm in big trouble.
We're still okay. Everything is all right.
I'm not going to talk about it.
Let's not even think about it. That's beautiful. Everything's okay. You gotta help us out. You gotta stall Bernie for a couple of hours.
I thought Bernie wasn't coming back till tomorrow.
Come on, let's go.
We're going to go back out?
Yeah, you got the money.
Yeah. I lost my hat.
I'm not going to help you.
Bernie is gonna get every penny. I promise you that. Let's go.
I'm not going to help you.
It's fresh.
It's new. It's live.
It's one-on-one.
It's just what you've been waiting for. 1-900-GET-GIRL.
More fun.
More excitement. The kinds of girls you like to talk to. 1-900-GET-GIRL.
Write it down.
Remember it. 1-900-GET-GIRL. Just $1.98 a minute for adults only.
Call now.
Motec Education Center, training for growth careers. Learn to be an auto body technician.
And a lot of our graduates are sought after because of the unibody training they get here.
Body shops all over the country are looking for qualified technicians.
It's not something that you can go out and just learn by doing. It's something that has to be taught.
Motec Education Center, where classes are forming now to train auto body technicians. Don't you want a career where jobs are waiting? The key to a job is the right education. Call Motec now, 522-9510.
To achieve your ultimate potential, we introduce the Nordic Flex Gold, the breakthrough in strength training technology that makes all other machines obsolete, including SoloFlex. Nordic Flex Gold is 5 ways better than SoloFlex. Nordic Flex Gold simulates the linear motion of free weights, maximizing your workout. In contrast, SoloFlex uses a less effective arcing motion, which can pull your body out of the correct workout position. Nordic Flex Gold has isokinetic resistance to match your natural strength curve. Your body is stronger at certain points of the stroke and weaker at others. The isokinetic resistance of Nordic Flex Gold accommodates these differences, supplying the most resistance when you are strongest and the least when you are weakest. So you get maximum resistance throughout the entire range of motion and maximum results. On a SoloFlex, the resistance simply increases as the rubber band stretches. It does not match your natural strength curve, so your workout is less efficient. Nordic Flex Gold's isokinetic resistance also gives you speed and convenience. You quickly move between exercises without changing steel plates or rubber bands. With Nordic Flex Gold, changeover between exercises is up to 40% faster than SoloFlex. Only Nordic Flex Gold has an electronic feedback system to tell you the number of reps and how much weight you've lifted. With SoloFlex, an electronic performance monitor is simply not available. And Nordic Flex Gold is a better value. Nordic Flex Gold costs only $999 complete. A SoloFlex costs $1,000, and to get the leg and butterfly attachments costs you an extra $500. Nordic Flex Gold, a better workout, faster and more effective for 1/3 less money. The comparison is clear, the choice is obvious. Call now to order your Nordic Flex Gold, the ultimate strength training machine for the ultimate body.
They don't live in the rainforest. They don't swim in the ocean or soar in the sky. Where they live, hope is the endangered species, as precious as any animal, plant, or habitat on Earth. Because every day, these children wake up in a toxic environment of poverty. Here, a sick baby will probably die for lack of a simple remedy made from water, sugar, and salt. Here, a little girl will never achieve her one dream, learning how to read. And right here in the United States, a frightened preschooler is locked alone in his apartment because his parents can't afford daycare. All over the world, millions of precious children are hungry, hurting, afraid. But for many of them, there is hope through the work of Save the Children and the generosity of people like you. Save the Children fights the poverty and hunger that destroy children's lives. They know how to make the suffering stop, but they need you to help. It's simple to do. Just pick up the phone and say you'll be a Save the Children sponsor. We'll rush you the name and story of a little child who urgently needs you. A photograph will follow, and from then on, you'll receive regular word of how your sponsored child is benefiting from the good work your $20 monthly contribution helps make possible. Save the Children knows how to get the most out of every penny. In fact, your contribution, combined with others, helps provide programs that enable communities to nurture all their children. Call and say you'll join us. And one by one, we can quell the hunger, heal the sickness, and help give little children the chance to live and be children. Become a Save the Children sponsor. Call 1-800-346-2900.
Smitty, they're here. Smitty, you sweetheart, I know you can do it. Come on. You ready? Oh, Dr. Zavago.
Hello.
You boys have a good time?
Hey, Alex, come on in. Make yourself comfortable.
Smitty. Smitty, this is my friend and partner, Jerry Feldman.
Oh, hiya, Jerry. I don't know which is worse, you know. Shaving every day or shaving every week. Did you get the money?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Hey, don't let this place fool you. You know, there was a time when I was a legitimate citizen. Yeah, I was listed in the phone book. I was married, had a house. You know, I was once an engineer. Yeah, I built dams.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I put all my mathematical knowledge together and put it into blackjack. Oh, I paid off. But listen, gamblers always wind up losers. Yeah, but I'm still the best one in this town.
What's the matter?
I lost my razor.
You lost your... Here is your razor right here. Look, Smith. Right there, see?
Oh, thanks. I don't see too well without my glasses.
Sometimes I think I need glasses myself. Maybe we should talk about the split.
The split?
That's a good idea.
Well, I only work one way. 50-50.
Smitty, I got a partner here. It's got to be a third each.
A third each? This is tough for me.
Bad heart?
Yeah, how'd you know?
Wild guess. 60-40.
That means you'll wind up with less.
Oh, at least he is good.
Look, we're taking the biggest risk. We're putting up all the money, Smith.
Yeah, we are taking a big risk here.
Now, one of you's gonna handle the bets, and the other's gonna handle the bank.
I'll handle the bets.
I'll handle the bank.
Oh, that's good. Now, each stack represents a bet. I mean, A is 100, B is 200, C is 500, and D, 4 is 1,000. Now, you see, so when I ask for A, you bet the first stack, 100. Look, when the odds are in our favor, you bet the third stack, 500. You got that?
How do we know when the odds are in our favor?
Look, it's a plus-minus situation.
Plus-minus situation,
Right.
Jerry.
A is 1, which could be 10. B is 2, which could be 20. And D is 4, which could be a $100,000 bet.
We're gonna kill him.
You know it.
Hold it. We gotta go around the back.
What's this about around the back?
We gotta go through the kitchen.
What do you mean, the kitchen? I'm not a waiter tonight. I'm going through the front door.
Don't get lost. See you in 5. I'm glad he got out, for our sake. Driver, around the back.
Follow that cab.
Wait a minute, I got bags being put in the
Looks like we wind up in the desert, pal.
You got it.
Jeff, Bach 111 tomorrow. Forget next week. That's it for this guy. That's it. Dick, John.
Mr. Gold, I tried to reach you on the radio.
I know. The whole damn communication system went out on this thing after one damn telephone call. We didn't know the meeting was canceled until we got there. Thanks a lot, man. See you in the morning. Hey, what a nice surprise. My goodness.
Hello.
How you doing?
Great, how you doing?
I'm fine. Everything okay?
Great.
Hey, who's paying for this?
Did you pay him? I thought you paid him.
How much is it? 1040.
Come on, it's it. Where's some money? Let's go, come on, be nice way. Not that.
Whoa!
Hey, what about the money?
You go right in there?
Huh?
You okay, mister?
It's them! It's them! It's them!
How much do I really mean to you?
Not that much. Come on. What is this? I mean, why do you ask a dumb question like that?
Because I have to know.
Don't you know?
I saw somebody tonight that I used to care a lot about, okay?
Thought you were with Jerry Feldman tonight.
I was. But I also saw his friend, Alex.
Alex?
Yeah.
Alex who? And what the hell were you doing with Alex?
Broke my leg. Yeah, they walk all over you.
What does he want? I mean, does he just want to see Tosh, or what does he want?
Alex,
I want to go home.
you want to go home? Go home.
I'll go home when I want to go. Not when you tell me to go home. I'll tell you when I want to go home.
I don't want to hear this anymore. Look at this. Look at this. Will you look at this?
What?
Look at that. Metro Club. I told you I'd get us out. Didn't I tell you? It's unbelievable, isn't it? Look at that.
It's unbelievable.
Did I find the button? I found the button, didn't I? Just tell me. Did I find the button?
You think the button's going to get us out of this problem?
Did I say that?
Yes. You just said that.
All I'm saying is I need some confidence from you somewhere down the line. I need some confidence.
You're asking me for confidence.
That's right.
You're asking me.
Yeah.
Now you're making some sense. Push the button.
I've been told I'm very bold. How about you? Are you the bold, daring type? You are. Well, let's see. Write down my number.
1-900-933-8101. $4.99 per minute. Adults only.
So go ahead. Pick up the phone and give me a call right now. I dare you.
All across this great country, America's best contacts and eyeglasses will beat any advertised price, period. Only $39.99. And new patients get famous Daily Wear soft contacts or 2 pair of great eyeglasses complete, including eye exam. Daily Wear soft contacts or 2 pair of high fashion eyeglasses, $39.99, including the exam. America's best contacts and eyeglasses. Now.
Once I collected gorillas and giraffe in Africa. I retired from the zoo business, but I couldn't leave my animals, so I started my own business, this Huggable Zoo. Now people collect my animals.
Sewing has always been my hobby. So when my friends couldn't find flattering maternity clothes, I realized this is something I can do. I didn't have much money, so I worked at home. Now I deliver my fashions all over the country.
My boss didn't think too much of my idea to build custom furniture. I decided to do it on my own. You know, weekends. I got so many orders, I quit my job. Now I'm my own boss.
Being your own boss. It's the American dream. Now everyone who shares that dream can take advantage of the know-how and experience of people like these who belong to the Kessler Exchange. It involves work and some risk and doesn't happen overnight. But with the help of the exchange, you can overcome all obstacles as they did and save yourself valuable time and money.
I'm at a point where I could use some financial advice.
I need help with everything from bookkeeping to marketing. When you're trying to succeed in a man's business, you need every advantage you can get.
You can do everything wrong like I did and maybe still succeed. Or you can join the Kessler Exchange and make it easy on yourself.
If you're serious about making it on your own, call now for free information about the Kessler Exchange. There's no obligation. So phone 1-800-933-3123 to find out how Kessler Exchange members all over the country are making more money and living happier lives, and how you can too.
It's not easy, but the rewards are great.
I figured someone could make a lot of money translating computer manuals into simple English. And I figured, why not us? So we did.
Anybody sits out there and tells me they can't do it, I don't buy it.
It's really important to follow your dreams.
Call 1-800-933-3123 now for full eye-opening information. It's free, and it could change your life.
Blessed Mother Mary, help me through this. Will you help me through this? Smitty, it's post time. Here we go. Let's go.
10 minutes late.
Right, come on, let's go.
10 minutes ago, they had a table, you know?
Come on, let's go.
But it's gone. But it's not my fault, because you were late. Yeah, that's right. It's not my fault. You were late. Alex, listen to me. It's not gonna work.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
This is Jerry Feldman, Mr. Feldman.
Oh, welcome, Mr. F.
We want our own table. No other players.
We'd like to play some blackjack tonight.
No other table, no
That's
other
why we're
players.
here. As long as he's on the table, no players.
What's the limit?
5,000.
When he plays.
How do you want this, sir?
14 across, 13 on the end.
Something wrong?
No, I'm fine.
Hi, did you want something to drink?
Yeah, give us a double vodka on the rocks, some Dewar's on the rocks. What do you want? Water. Three waters.
Alex?
Yeah.
He's playing 7 hands here.
Right, that's right.
That's all I'm on. Right, what happened to ABC?
We passed it.
We passed it. Ma'am, where can we get a drink?
There's the Parisian bar.
No. Go down the hall, take express elevator to the Metro Club. That's the fastest.
Metro Club?
Yeah, that's right, Metro Club. I was talking to the lady.
Yeah? Blackjack. Blackjack.
raise the limit to 10,000.
Yeah, 10's okay.
70,000 across.
Okay, mark up 70.
$70,000. What is this, water?
That's what you ordered.
$5 for you.
Thanks, Mr. Ellis.
Stay.
$18.
Alex, what's going on? Well, we just...
We lost 40,000. This is ours, the 30,000.
Make it 40 more.
Okay, 40 more.
Did I do that? You just called 40,000 more. Did the right thing. Keep nodding.
Stay. Split the deuces.
Split the deuces.
10,000.
Again.
Cutty and water.
JB, all right?
Let me have one of them salty dogs, will you?
You got it.
Stay. Stay. Stay.
19.
$70,000 again.
It's his table, yes.
How you doing?
Doing fine, thanks.
Another 10.
Mark it up.
Stay. Stay.
17.
Believe this? What's the damage over there? Where are we stuck?
It's 170, sir.
$170,000.
I'll get out of here.
Where you going? You going home?
You know what's going to happen?
What?
The desert.
Okay, raise the limit to 20,000. 140,000 across.
Mark it up. Do you have $170,000?
No.
Then you better sit down. Listen, don't worry about a thing. This is negative financing. Countries do this.
It was negative financing.
You owe and you owe, and then you're ahead.
Don't let me have a drink, you promise? That's a lot of money.
Is everything okay?
Would you like to have a drink? Let's have a drink.
Yeah.
You want a drink? What do you want?
Yeah.
Double vodka? Double vodka.
Yeah.
2 double vodkas are double doers. On the rock.
You got it.
Feldman done that? I don't think it's funny, Joey. I'm telling you, we're going to hurt him bad this time. You and me, we're going to hurt him. And I'm telling you, it's personal with him and me now. It's personal. We're going to really take care of him. When I get to it, that Feldman, I'm going to match his face around so he looks like somebody else.
You having a nice time in Vegas, man?
Yes, thank you.
What have we been doing for 20 years? We'll never see this kind of action again all our lives. Will you let me play a hand, please? Will you let me play a hand without crying?
140
Just let me
again.
play the hand. Oh, hey, leave him be.
Rusty? Hey. You remember me? You remember me?
Shoot the works at this table. Holy smokes. Double them up.
Stay all the way across.
Stay. Bust him. Bust him. Bust him. He did it. He did it.
Oh,
all right.
God.
He did
Okay,
it.
please. Please.
Okay, take me down 100. Call 140,000.
No. Okay, count him. Just count him. How much we got?
Go home. We don't have to worry.
We can't go home.
Can we go?
Get your hands off that. Let's go. We're on a run.
We would know each other. Listen.
Jerry, we're on a run here. I cannot
Look
go.
at all
No,
the we got over there. I'm going to cash out, okay?
You can't
Come
cash
on.
out. You're Jerry Feldman.
I'm not Jerry Feldman.
You are Jerry Feldman.
I'm not Jerry Feldman.
I know you're not Jerry.
So?
Stay. Stay. Hit me.
Split the sevens.
Hit me.
Split the sevens. Don't split the sevens.
Why don't you leave him alone?
Double down.
Why don't you leave me alone?
20.
Again.
Double
See
down.
what's happening here? The man is a master. Can he do it? Yes, he can.
Double down.
20.
Thanks. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Wonderful.
Okay.
Take down my markers.
Want everything?
Everything.
See what's happening?
Yes.
Everything goes.
That's all money.
Aren't you glad we stayed?
Okay. Yes. You're right. You're right. So, we'll go?
140 again.
Jerry Feldman. What table's he on? BJ2. Don't worry about it, Tom. The man's a born loser. Just can't help it. I promise you, he'll drop it all before he checks out. Okay, thanks, Tom. What the hell's the matter with this thing? Well, I don't see any Jerry Feldman.
It's right in the middle.
Tricia, that's not Jerry. This guy's got no hair.
Women's intuition, woman's prerogative. Sometimes only a woman's point of view will do. Call me right now, and let's talk about it. Just you and me. It's not a gab line. It's not a date line. It's a chance to hear a woman's thoughts and feelings.
1-900-903-9310, $4.99 per minute, adults only.
Let's talk about it right now.
A recent nationwide survey shows in spite of the recession, there are thousands of positions for newly licensed cosmetologists. At Virginia Farrell Beauty Schools, you can learn precision hair design, the latest in fashioning nails, and the secrets of magical makeup. Virginia Farrell Beauty Schools will open the door to beauty as a career for you. Call Virginia Farrell Beauty Schools for an appointment right now.
Get the biggest names in home furnishings at the biggest savings at Lasky Furniture now. Yes, Lasky's dealing direct with the factories during the National Brand Name Sale. You'll save 35 to 70% off. Save $300 on this 5-piece dinette from Cramco. Prices start at $298. Factory direct savings of 35 to 70%. The biggest names in home furnishings only at Lasky Furniture during the National Brand Name Sale. Hurry to Lasky Furniture, Detroit, Warren, Livonia, Taylor, and Northwest Detroit.
The BBC, Turner Broadcasting, and Time Life Video dare you to take a walk on the wild side with Trials of Life, the gripping, award-winning nature video series that exposes the struggle to survive through uncensored, shocking photography. Join acclaimed naturalist David Attenborough for our close encounter with raw nature as you've never seen it before. Violent footage shows you the life and death struggle to survive in a harsh and brutal world. The quest for food, the the strategy of the kill. The battle for supremacy. The relentless drive to continue the bloodline. And the miracle of birth. Trials of Life is a first-hand account of the struggle to survive in a savage, untamed environment. Call this toll-free number now to receive Hunting and Escaping for $9.99. You'll see up close why the law of the jungle is kill or be killed. Try Hunting and Escaping. If it captures your interest, you can get other videos about every other month. Each tape explores the harsh realities of survival in the animal world. Trials of Life is a video series that will change the way you look at nature and yourself. People magazine calls Trials of Life visually stunning. Entertainment Weekly says Trials of Life is one of the liveliest nature shows ever. See the deadly art of survival in the wild in Trials of Life. Some scenes may not be suitable for younger viewers. Take a walk on the wild side with Trials of Life. Call now to order Hunting and Escaping for $9.99 and find out why we call them animals.
To order your Trials of Life video, call 1-800-632-5454 or send $9.99 plus $3.23 shipping and handling to Trials of Life, Grand Central Station, P.O. Box 5294, Department TL-7, New York, New York.
Once I collected gorillas and giraffe in Africa. I retired from the zoo business, but I couldn't believe my animals, so I started my own business, this huggable zoo. Now people collect my animals.
Sewing has always been my hobby. So when my friends couldn't find flattering maternity clothes, I realized this is something I can do. I didn't have much money, so I worked at home. Now I deliver my fashions all over the country.
My boss didn't think too much of my idea to build custom furniture. I decided to do it on my own. You know, weekends. I got so many orders, I quit my job. Now I'm my own boss.
Being your own boss. It's the American dream. Now everyone who shares that dream can take advantage of the know-how and experience of people like these who belong to the Kessler Exchange. It involves work and some risk and doesn't happen overnight. But with the help of the exchange, you can overcome all obstacles as they did and save yourself valuable time and money.
I'm at a point where I could use some financial advice.
I need help with everything from bookkeeping to marketing. When you're trying to succeed in a man's business, you need every advantage you can get.
You can do everything wrong like I did and maybe still succeed. Or you can join the Kessler Exchange and make it easy on yourself.
If you're serious about making it on your own, call now for free information about the Kessler Exchange. There's no obligation. So phone 1-800-933-3123 to find out how Kessler Exchange members all over the country are making more money and living happier lives, and how you can too.
It's not easy, but the rewards are great.
I figured someone could make a lot of money translating computer manuals into simple English. And I figured, why not us? So we did.
Anybody sits out there and tells me they can't do it, I don't buy it.
It's really important to follow your dreams.
Call 1-800-933-3123 now for full eye-opening information. It's free, and it could change your life.
Third, 33 and a third. You weren't paying attention in the room. You said 60-40. You said 60.
He didn't agree.
I didn't say 60-40. Look, he didn't laugh at it.
Stay.
He said he could bend to that.
Stay.
Don't you hear me? He said, I have a partner. A third, it
I
goes.
don't
want to talk about this. There's a game going on. Oh, look, busted. He busted.
Okay.
He busted. He busted.
Okay.
Do you see this?
Okay.
What's happening here?
Okay, now.
I know when you're
Everything goes. Same thing.
Here, let me count them. How much we got here?
Got 140 and 180.
Maybe you're right. You're right. Okay, that's it. No, we stopped the game.
Cards are out, sir. Oh, it's too late, gentlemen. Cards have been dealt.
That's the rules.
You did the wrong thing. You're right. You did the wrong thing. Okay.
Stay.
Could be worse.
Split the eights.
20.
Split them again.
20.
Stay. Hold it. Double down.
I got 20 here.
You got 20 showing.
I want that next card, Sonny.
Marking 20,000.
Market them.
The card's worth $500,000.
That's it. That's it.
That's it. That's the game. That's it. That's the game.
He did it.
That's the game. I thought
Sounds like someone is winning.
I hate those mucky. I'll be a son of a... Joey, look at this.
Harry, and Joey, I knew you'd show up just when we had some money for you. What are you looking at? Look at me.
Mr. F,
Look at
please
me.
don't embarrass yourself.
Look, money. Look, $4,000. What are you doing? Look at the chippies.
Did you see my hat? Mr. F. Yeah, get your hat, you little squid.
Hey, take it easy, Harry. Joey,
Hey,
Harry,
that's us, Patty.
pay attention to the money. Look.
We did that.
So here, Harry, look. Here's $1,000.
Jerry Felton, a good friend of Bernie Gold's here. Oh, really? Well, I'm Bernie Gold, friend.
And whatever expenses. Where? Take it easy. You can't do anything. You don't want Hey! Easy.
Hey, Harry, Joey, say hello to Bernie Gold. He's in charge of operations here.
It's the owner. Man is the owner. The owner of the hotel. Things may seem strange to you. Things being as they are, they may seem strange to you. But I'm gonna pay you what I owe you.
I don't want to be paid with my own money.
It's all the money I got.
Alex, we really shouldn't be doing this.
Not now. So what is it? The initial 10, right? Plus, what, room, dinner, and a show, that'd come to about 500. I'll give you 1,000. So it's 11,000. Great show, by the way.
Oh, the elephants were nice.
Worth every nickel.
Who the hell do you think you're dealing with here?
You, Mr. Gold. Bernie Gold.
Joey Felton. Smitty! Smitty! Oh, God. Somebody call a doctor. Yeah, let's get him on. Smitty, hold on. Get some water. Please, somebody get some water. Let's get him off. Pills. He's got pills in here. He's got pills on. Look, get him out of here. Here. I got him. I got a Smith. Hold on, Smitty. Hold on. Somebody get some water. Get some water. Smith.
Watch the chips.
Here, Smith. I got the pills. Here. Smitty. Where's the water? Where the hell is the water?
Here's the water. We got lucky. The ambulance is right across the street. They'll be right in.
Here, take this. Smith. Come on, take the pill. Smith, give me the... Smitty, please. What are you doing? You can't die like this. You just won $500,000.
Step back, please. Step back.
Smitty.
Clear these people out, would you, please?
He's gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay.
Please, sir.
Huh? Smith. Oh, Smitty, you're gonna be okay.
He's not breathing.
He's not breathing.
Can you move these people back, please? Sir, move back, please.
Alex.
Thank you.
Tricia, get out of there. Officer, there was nothing personal there.
Stop it! Stop!
You got 82 guards around here.
Well, look at yourself.
Well, look at them.
We'll take care of it.
I don't care.
Go back. You just stay out of there.
That's enough for that! Knock it off!
I don't allow that.
I want him. I can't pay him. I want him.
Just take a look around you. You are dead. We should put that piece away. Look around. You're a dead man. Understand?
Yeah, I understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. I want him.
What's this, a gun?
All right there.
A gun? What is it, a dog gun? Oh!
on.
He hit me in the eye.
I know that. Come on, buddy. Come on.
Stay low. Just stay low.
Alex, watch this shit.
What the hell are you doing?
I don't know. It just went off.
It just went off?
Yes, sir.
Sonny,
I'm sorry.
let's take
Idiot.
a walk, relax, take it easy. It's okay. Just take it easy, relax. I'd like to apologize for the inconvenience and wish you all the best of luck. Please continue your game. Have fun. Ease up.
Security here.
I'd like to get a couple of things straight here. Who are you two maniacs?
Maniacs.
They're just some guys we owed some money to.
Get these two guys on the first plane to anywhere. Just get them out of my sight. I don't ever want to see you two guys again. Don't ever come back here again.
Hey, give my hat.
Jumpy, are you, Alex, huh?
Give this to him. Tell him to put it away, Sonny. Okay, now the way I see it, you owe me $20,000.
What are you talking about? What's he talking about?
Well, I'm willing to give you a break.
Look, Mr. Gold. Just give us what we won. Take out whatever you want. How about that?
Let's get another thing straight. You didn't win anything. The only man who won here's the waiter, and he's dead. So that money goes on ice. It's frozen until the courts decide who gets
What are you talking about? That's my money.
That's the law.
Just because you own a big hotel doesn't mean you can push people around and you can steal from them.
Both of you ought to be in jail. I've got it under control. I'm control.
We won that money.
I'm control.
We won that money.
The waiter won that money.
We won that money. Smitty Carpenter's the greatest gambler the world has ever seen, and he won that money for me.
I don't believe you. Can't you understand that money isn't yours?
You people are all wrong here. You're stealing from a dead person. Everything you say is wrong.
Alex.
Everything you say is wrong.
I gotta talk to you.
I don't want to talk to anybody. Just want my money.
Just listen to one thing. Patricia has a little girl. Her name's Tasha. She's your daughter. It's your little girl.
What is that supposed to mean? I want my money. Don't think I'm going to make things easier for you, because I'm not.
You work it out on your own, because
I don't want your help.
You're
You
not getting
want my money.
You're not getting it.
Smitty won that money for me. Jerry, did he win that money for me or what?
I can't deal with it.
Won that money for me.
Crazy.
Jerry,
Alex, please listen to me.
I don't want to talk to you.
Please,
Jerry,
please.
I don't want to talk to you.
I'm trying to be very fair to you.
Talk to
And
him.
he's trying to understand.
He don't understand. He can't understand because he really don't try. Mr. Gold, I don't want your money. And unfortunately, he does, but that's the way he is, and I can't help that. But he's my friend, and I take the good with the bad. I think we should get out of here, Alex.
How about that? You got to know who your friends are. sorry about the money. I'd like to make it up to you, but I just don't have it right now.
Don't worry about it. Your friend took care of everything. He's really a sweet guy, you know?
Did.
How do I get out of here? Bye.
I gotta thank you, Alex. That was the greatest thing.
Forget it.
Alex, what do you say we stay over a couple of days? You know, that girl, like, but I mean really like.
We're leaving in the morning, Jerry.
Something the matter?
Where'd you get the money?
I'm a resourceful person. I don't have to tell you everything.
Honey, this is a very good friend of mine, Mr. Kovac, right here. And over here's Mr. Feldman. This is Tasha.
Hey, baby.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. You know what happened to me? I was crossing against the light. You don't want to ever do that. You don't want to ever cross against the light.
Remember that.
Where are you from, honey?
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas, Nevada. You know where I'm from? Me and Jerry, we're from New York City. Hear that siren? They have a lot of sirens like that in New York City. Noise all the time. That's where they have the tall buildings, New York City.
Daddy goes there all the time.
Daddy goes there, huh? Your daddy's he's a nice man.
You are too.
I'm gonna get a cab.
Can I go play tennis?
You sure can.
You gonna keep in touch?
I don't know.
You know, Paolo, there was some move you made when Harry had his gun out.
That's nothing like the move Smitty made. Doubling down on a solid 20. Guy's got a 6 showing. See Smitty's face when he got the 5? How did he know that was a 5? How did he know that was a 5 coming up? How did he know?
He knew that was the old plus and minus situation.
My name is Smitty Carpenter. You owe me $500,000.
One moment, please.
Well, if you ever have to go, that's the way to go. Where Smitty went.
If you ever have to go, you have to go.
You gotta be kidding me. Smitty Carpenter, the dead waiter?
Las Vegas is a wonderful town, isn't it? Lots of fun.
That's right. Yeah, we mean what we say.
Mr. Carpenter, would you like me to get a security guard to escort you out of the casino?
It's all right. No thanks.
Looking to get out, looking to get out, looking to get out, get out of here.
Green Acres is coming up next with Eddie Albert and Ava Gabor, right here on WXON TV 20 Detroit.
Looking to get out, get out of here. Get out. Looking to get out, looking to get out, looking to get out, get out of here. Looking to get out, looking to get out, looking to get out, get out of here. Looking to get out, looking to get out, looking to get out, get out of here. Get
Famous furniture factories forced to sell over $50 million of overstock inventory, and we bought it all for pennies on the dollar at Value City Furniture. Save over $200 each on thousands of Crater sofas, only $288 to $388. Four-piece pine finish country bedroom, not $550, only $394. Five-piece stop sign dinette over half off, $94. Three-piece table sets over half off, $198. Designer lamp short choice, $19 each. Come prepared to buy. The factory's loss is your gain. The factory direct sale now at Value City Furniture.
Sports at 7 on WXON TV 20. Detroit.
Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside.
New York is where I'd rather stay. I get allergic smelling hay. I just adore a penthouse view. Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue.
The chores.
The stores.
Fresh air.
Times Square.
You are my wife.
Goodbye, city life.
Green Acres, we are there.
That she felt had become destructive by pulling that memory out and replacing it with decent human beings. Unfortunately, she becomes involved in a web, and this absolutely destroys her.
It seems we have ourselves a mind with an incredible knowledge of computer science.
Actor Kevin McCarthy. Credits: The Invention of the Body Snatchers and many others. Roland Duplicates. Dr. Nelson Conjumate. Good guy or bad, you decide.
Conjumate's viewpoint is that they've discovered a certain power. Why not use his power a good way?
We are on the verge of a Nobel Prize. Now is not the time to panic.
Actor Gregory Harrison. Credits: last seen on USA in the world premiere movie Dangerous Pursuit and The Family Man on CBS. Roland Duplicates. Bob Boxletter.
Read that. Very nice.
Action.
Gregory Harrison and Kim Greist star as a couple torn apart by their son's disappearance, whose lives are ultimately almost erased.
We've been programmed into someone else's body.
No! So these two people have their entire memory banks wiped away, and yet when they meet again with the memory banks of entirely new people, they are attracted beyond belief.
It's as if I've known you all my life. I know.
Science fact or science fiction? In USA's Duplicates, experiments on human memory banks lead to a final reckoning.
Are we the Boxletter family?
Don't!
I want an answer.
Charles, yes. You are the